Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today's new video is the Northwest Sports Fanatics, who are the best quarterback and wide receiver combos going into 2021. With your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on the Cash App or through the Super Chat here on YouTube. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, a link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. So today's video is definitely a very, very tough one. I'll wait for a few people to hop in the room and join your boy. But I was trying to go over all the different concepts, all the different players at quarterback and wide receiver. And I didn't really put in tight ends, so it's not necessarily wideouts, including tight ends. It's just going to be the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. And it's hard not to be biased. I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I'm Tampa Bay, Super Bowl 37, Super Bowl 55. But like I said, I feel if you listen to my list, I definitely put a lot of thought into it, and it shows that I'm not biased. I'll call it right down the middle, and I want you guys to kind of comment below and let me know, what you think. You think if it's, trash? You think that if you agree? It's definitely tough when you have all the teams in the NFL. You got 32, so you're looking at all the quarterbacks and the guys that have retired, comics in the building, what to do. So this list was something that I wanted to take some time, and it has a little fantasy implications too. Michael Pierpont, my dude. How's it going? Brian, 21. Just call me Brian. Oh, dog in the building. It has been a while, Pierpont. Like I said, I have a new format, new background. I've been grinding on, some of the thumbnails and going through a lot of the progressions. I moved. So now I'm in a place where I got a studio just for me to be able to do my thing. I got to get a flat screen and a wall mount in here before football season. Anthony Ramirez, Raiders in the building. Nola in the building. Jameis Winston, MT, LOL. Like I said, I'm definitely excited to kind of go over these options. Now, if we could get anything that Winston was just a fraction of Drew, we're going to get some excitement this season. We've seen him work out with his friends, but I don't really know. A lot of people have been busy. Like I said, I've been busy with work. And like I said, at this point, I'm going to have a little bit of a vacay. I'm going to have a couple days where I'm going to be offline. But like I said, after that, it's going to be good to go. So probably as we get closer to 4th of July weekend, Matthew Sanchez in the building, what to do. It's going to be getting to that point where it's going to be a few days of relaxation, a few days to get my mind right. And then we're going to get right back into it towards, the end of the week as we go into July 4th weekend. But I miss all of you guys. And like I said, apologize. It's been a couple days since I've, put out a new video, but I don't want to rush them. Like I was just going to tell my boy, young Nola, instead of maybe putting out all of the mixtapes, right, and all the hard work, maybe do less, right, to show the effort and try to come up with that one banger, right? Just like Wiggle It, over 130K plays, my boy. Okay. So maybe take some time and do a little bit less on your music, right? And don't put out as much. So we like to put out material to show our grind, but maybe take a step back and don't put out a mixtape for a while and just try to perfect one or two to try to get to that Wiggle It. Just a thought. I'm looking out for you. You're my boy. Jurassic Ninja in the building. Yo, my guy. This list is so tough. And like I said, I want to go over a top 10 list, and this is going into 2021. But honestly, there's probably about 15 combos that I'm really excited about going in to 2021, but I can't put all of them in there. Pierpont just said finished his freshman year of college. Congrats to you, my college boy, Michael Pierpont. What to do, my guy? Congratulations. Let's see here. Pierpont says, what does he say here? He says Wentz and T.Y. Oof. Yeah, definitely not in the top 10, but for the Colts' sake, you better pray that they're like in the top 15-ish. That means you'll probably be in the playoffs. The defense is amazing. Obviously, offensive line is going to be amazing for the Colts. And I know you represent, fly, the Eagles. So maybe you're rooting for Wentz to do good. I know a lot of people in Philly aren't really rooting for him to do bad, but you might want to root for him to do bad because that means the better draft pick that you get in compensation. He is no longer on your team. You can root for him to do well, but, Slick Nick got you the Super Bowl. Wentz got you to that point towards like week 13, week 14. Knee went out. Slick Nick Foles got it done. So they're always going to be linked. But with Wentz and Ty, if you're an Eagles fan, you're probably on the low key, root for him. But maybe if they do bad, higher draft pick for the Eagles, then you end up getting 3 first-rounders. Just a train of thought that I have in my brain. A little bit different than a lot of people that, talk NFL. That's facts. He said he going on a date with Mandy Rose, y'all. Yeah, right, man. Pierpont. Wentz is winning MVP. Not even close. I could think of 1,000 people that would win it over Carson Wentz. Not hating. I don't know if that's you trolling right now, because I know you like to troll and you are an Eagles fan, but maybe there's some seriousness to it. I think that they could win the AFC South. I still like Tennessee better, but they got a better offensive line and they got a better defense. And usually O-line and offensive line and defensive line and linebackers and secondary, that package, defense, offensive line, can really help you be a pretty damn good team. We're going to find out how good the Saints are, because they got the O-line, they got the defense, also like the Colts, but the offense is a little questionable, kind of shaky. We're ready for these new superstars to break out, either if they're rookies or we're looking to see what guys that came in, Carson Wentz, a.k.a. Jameis Winston, if they can get it done on their new team. Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Obviously, that's going to be one that I wanted to put them in the top 10. I think Stafford is going to be a top 10, quarterback this season. But is it Cooper Kupp or is it Robert Woods or maybe a little Cam Akers? I mean, it's going to be tough to really decide, even though Cooper Kupp is kind of more listed as the 1 and then Robert Woods is the 2. Right? Or 1A, 1B. I mean, they're both very, very highly underrated and both fantastic. I would take them on Tampa Bay in a heartbeat. But since there's not really that one solo straight guy, I mean, a lot of teams got more than one wide receiver. I get it. But I think that they are going to be a top 10 combo, whether it be Kupp, Woods, or a combination of Stafford, Kupp, and Woods, because I definitely think they're going to be one of the best teams in the NFC. Questions on with the D coordinator leaving, going to Seattle, losing some defensive key guys, but still the offense should be flowing within the first month. So even if they have a little bit of jitters like Tampa Bay did, last season, going with Tampa Bay and Gronk and everyone in AB, I think that Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Cam Akers, and they got the secret ingredient, and Sean McVay. And that's facts. Brute saying Allen Diggs, Mahomes Hill, Wilson, Metcalf, Pierpont and Brian. I remember those names too. Isn't it crazy when you get people to come back in the room and holla at your boy? So we get the first rounder if Wentz plays over, it's like 70 or 75% snaps. But if you get 3 first rounders and you stick with Jalen Hurts and build around Miles Sanders and build around Devontae Smith, build around Dallas Goedert, you're still going to need to get defensive guys to replace Fletcher Cox and some of those other guys, right? Offensive line has got a lot of talent, but they get banged up a lot. Brooks, now you got Kelsey at center. We're hoping that Dillard can stay healthy. Your boy does a lot of reading. I'm watching a lot of film studies. So we're going to have to see with some of these guys if they can stay healthy or not. And that's big facts. Brute Saint, my dude, how are you? Randall, Saints flying under the radar this year. Nobody talking about him. I love it. Well, of course, you don't have Drew. If Drew was still there, you guys would be one of the most talked about teams, period. I mean, just as much as Tampa Bay or any of the other top teams like the Chiefs or the Rams or Seattle or anybody out there. But with Drew being gone, a lot of question marks. So obviously you lost some guys on defense too. So it's understandable. You lost Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook and Drew Brees. You lost Janoris Jenkins, Sheldon Rankins, T-Rex, Trey Hendrickson, and many, many others. All right. But we'll see. I'm excited for you guys. No cap. I mean, I can laugh at Jameis Winston fucking doing little practice things, where he's trying not to fumble the ball and he's got his friends with little mitts trying to, stop him from, looking down and, not fumbling the football. I mean, that's cool. You're putting in the work. But to me, it seems just like for me with Jameis, I've had him on my team. I've watched him at Florida State and on Tampa. It's almost for clout, just like kind of showing the people like, we don't need to see you doing that shit. And when I see it, it's almost like comical. It looks forced. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like, I know he's, was at the top at Florida State. Then he hit rock bottom with Tampa Bay. But some of the shit that when you see Jameis Winston on film, it just seems like he's trying to perform to the audience instead of be real. And I can't fuck with someone like that's performing. All right, be real all the time. If, eating W's is who you are, then do it all the time. But a lot of times it's like he's putting on for the camera to me. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see if he ends up having some success there. Sam and Robbie, Brandon Simmons. Oh, we know definitely we got Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson fan in the building. What to do? Cooling on the West Bank, the best bank. My dog, what's good? Yeah, try not to throw 30 fucking picks. Exactly. So this list, I want you guys to kind of get some eyes and ears on the list. It's not going to be accurate, 100%. Everyone's going to have their own kind of take to it. But I think that when you guys hear me talk, as I follow all 32 teams with no bias, there's no way in hell I'm putting Brady and Mike Evans or Chris Godwin number one, even if I thought that in my brain, which I don't. But I do think they're a lot higher than most of you guys probably on the outside looking in, because you see Tampa, you see Orion, you're like, Tampa Bay, get out of here. Tom Brady going there with Gronk and AB. But, if you got to look at the past and having shitty teams from 97 all the way to, 2019, 2020. So I had a good 12, 13 years of just garbage. So to be able to overachieve and, make my dreams happen, not only winning Super Bowl 37 against the Raiders and then Super Bowl 55 against the Chiefs. I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to maximize that window that Tampa Bay has. We're not the Chiefs. We're not going to be the best team or top 2, top 3 for 10 years. We're going to have a couple years where we're going to be in the top 5, which is super exciting for me as a Tampa fan. I don't give a shit if we go to the Super Bowl and lose, or we go NFC Championship game and lose. Of course, with the mentality with Tom there, it's like get there and win. Of course, that's what you want. But as a fan and me being realistic and not being biased, no matter how great I think our team is, and I think that we're going to go for 2, and I think we can repeat, it's hard to repeat. It hasn't been done since 03-04 with the Pats. So as confident as the Chiefs were going into last season, we're going to fucking go for 2. We're going to win this shit. Tampa came, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh yeah, we're returning all 22 starters, offense, defense, all 3 coaches, BA and fucking, we got Byron Leftwich and we got, oh boy, Todd Bowles. There is no guarantee. Not only is no one going undefeated this season, all the crackheads in the media saying, oh, someone's going undefeated. I highly doubt it. The NFL is way too competitive. That's why we love this game, right? Even one loss, I don't think it's happening. At 17 weeks with people getting injured, people getting banged up, needing rest. I mean, I'm thinking the best record is going to be 3 or 4 losses. So 14-3, 13-4, and it might not even be Tampa Bay that has the best record in the NFL. It could be the Chiefs or someone else that surprises all of us. It happens every single year. So that kind of is my perspective on things. But let's get into this list. All right. And I had to make this up. I took a little bit of time, and I know it's going to be controversial. It's not going to have all of the favorites maybe in your particular order, but I put this in a particular order based on the success that the wide receiver is going to have with this quarterback, what the quarterback or wide receiver would be able to do by themselves if they didn't have the partner that I'm mentioning with the duos in there. Well, how good are they? Can they make every throw? Can they do the 5-yard and out, the 20-yard post? Can they do the hook route, the slant route? And can the wide receiver, can he get you off the line? Can he get you with the jab step? Can he hit you with the looky-loo? I mean, can he hit you with every single route as well? Good hands, good footwork, can get the job done. And this is tough. Because, I mean, as far as combos, I mean, you can go for like the best quarterback and then pair it up with the wide receiver that they're with. You can also go with the better wide receiver, maybe quarterback not, as liked maybe as others, but the wide receiver is the big dog. And I made my list with a little bit of both to kind of show you guys where I'm feeling as we're going into 2021. And most of these combos I have going to the playoffs this year, coincidentally, because I know that they're going to be good. All right. So starting at number 10, and I'll see if I can set this up here real quick. So at number 10, we will see. One sec here. Let me see what I can do if it lets me make changes on the fly. I don't know if it is. I think it will. So give me just a second here. And I'm going to try to just put the numbers in the chat down below. So that way that, I could have had everything laid out, but I wanted it to be authentic instead of just having the full list out there. So, your boy's going to be doing it on the fly with you. All right. All right, here we go. At number 10. Number 10 is a quarterback that blew his fucking leg out, blew his knee out. Not a favorite, really, of maybe everyone in the NFL. All right, but I'm really rooting for this guy. He's playing Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 1. And the wide receiver I have him paired up with may not be the one that you're thinking. You may be thinking, oh, maybe it's Amari Cooper. Nope. Maybe it's Michael Gallup. Nope. But we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys at number 10, Dak Prescott and C.D. Lamb. All right. Now with C.D. Lamb, he's one of those guys I think that gets highly overlooked. Shitty quarterback situation. I think that he's got a lot of athleticism. He reminds me of a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase-ish athletic ability. He can really do anything and everything on the field. And once we get a healthy Dak and a C.D. Lamb throughout a full season, I think there's going to be a lot of records or high numbers. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Dak can throw for 30, 40, 50 touchdowns in a season. There might be some interceptions there, and the defense might be trash, but we know if Zeke is humming, and you got Amari Cooper, the boring route runner, but he seems like he always gets it done in Bama or the Raiders, or obviously now where he's at, okay, with the Dallas Cowboys. The most boring, probably top 10 wide receiver of all time, Amari Cooper. Good player. I'd take him on my team, but there's nothing really flashy about him. Even Marvin Harrison was kind of bland, but he had a little bit more pizzazz in his game. Amari Cooper, kind of boring, but he's still a great wide receiver. That's the best way I can describe him. You guys are probably thinking the same thing. So Amari Cooper, no. Michael Gallup, he's going to take a big leap in his game this season because Dak and him have good chemistry. But I got to go with C.D. Lamb and Dak Prescott. Now, there's a lot of different combos that I wanted to put. Matthew Stafford, obviously Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp would have taken this spot. But I think that we saw how great Dak Prescott was, when he was there, as well as C.D. Lamb. And then, obviously after the injury, goddamn. I mean, the Cowboys, we're talking about defenses. There wasn't one. I mean, they literally could have went out there with all ghosts, all Sam Darnold ghosts out there, and it wouldn't have really made a difference. But I am excited to see what they can do this season and competing with the Giants and the Washington football team and the Eagles for the NFC East crown. I'm excited to see what maybe the Cowboys do. Can they maybe get in with a wild card, maybe underneath Washington or the Giants? Is it possible that maybe Dallas wins 10 games? Maybe they go 10-7 or 11-6. And the answer that comes to my head, yeah. I think that if the defense doesn't go from trash and it can go to bad, not good, not great, not elite, but just go from trash just to kind of bad to maybe average, like somewhere in between there, that'll be enough, I think, with just the moves that they made with Micah Parsons. We'll see what Van Der Esch and the rest of the guys, Jalen Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, no more Byron Jones. All right, he's no longer there, but we'll see. I'm optimistic, and I'm not one of those Cowboy lovers or Cowboy haters. A lot of Cowboy haters, a lot of Patriots haters, but I think when you see Dak, when he's out there, it's better for the league. Just like when Romo played, just like when Troy Aikman played, even if you're a Bang Bang Niner Gang fan or anyone else that hates the Cowboys, having those guys out there, it makes the game more exciting because it's something to talk shit about if you don't like that guy or that team or that player or that QB. Or if you're a fan, you're like, wow, look at this. They're always going to be on the news, Skip and Shannon. And, Cowboys are everywhere. And that's America's team, even though it might be the Green Bay Packers now. But with Aaron Rodgers and that saga, maybe it's going to go back to Dallas as America's team. Number 10, Dak Prescott and C.D. Lamb. All right. And as we go to number 9, as I try to do this on the fly, all right, number 9 is going to be a combo that I really, really love, that I feel that people don't realize how great they're going to be. If this quarterback, after having a season-ending injury, can make it throughout the full season, with this rookie wide receiver, he's going to be the best rookie wide receiver. Got a great chance to win Offensive Rookie of the Year with Trevor Lawrence at QB from Jacksonville or Najee Harris from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And as we go with the ticker, as we go and we get it updated, at number 9, the Cincinnati Bengals, it's going to be Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I always like showcasing the new talent. I have to, because, most people are just so comfortable, with the old guys, the vets, the Bradys and the Breezes, and the Roethlisbergers, but it's always about the next gen. All right. It's like the next gen system when we're going to be going to Grand Theft Auto 6. Can't wait. PlayStation 5. We're going places. All right. We got to be able to see in the future as well. We saw what they did at LSU. I think that they can be definitely both top 10 players at their position. Burrow right now is hovering outside the top 10, in my opinion, but he's close if he can have some consistency for a couple years. And Jamar Chase is going to be like a Justin Jefferson, clone, maybe AJ Brown. Like they're so athletic. Those are kind of the future wide receivers in this league. I think Devontae Smith and a lot of these others, Elijah Moore, are going to be great. But if you're looking at overall talent, Jamar Chase should be the best wide receiver, and he's got a good quarterback combination with Joe Burrow. So at number 10, the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott and C.D. Lamb. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Someone above Amari Cooper and Gallup and Zeke, someone to show off. They'd be like, hey, you might have me listed as the 3rd best wide receiver on this roster, but guess what? I'm actually the best. And that's saying a lot, that I think that he's got potential to be better than Amari Cooper, because in most people's circles, Amari Cooper is a top 15 wide receiver, the most boring wide receiver if you want to put him in the top 10 based off his numbers and touchdowns and his route running and his hands. It's just nothing really flashy about it, but I like the upside with CeeDee Lamb. Number 10, Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Number 9, the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. You should have got Penei Sewell, but you're putting butts in the seats. You're going to get Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. Look for both of them to have a season kind of like Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson had last season, really getting the rookie acclimated to the NFL. I think Jamar Chase's jersey is going to be a top 10 at some point during the season. I think he's going to be one of those guys. He might get a couple multi-game touchdown tutters, maybe 2 in a game, maybe 3 in a game, and just a little bit of love to the Cincinnati Bengals, just like Jesse Bates III, the best underrated safety in the league. A lot of y'all will know his name as we go into 2021. But number 9, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Now, I got so much fucking scribbles on this writing. It's hard for me to be able to see who is next. At number 8, all right, as I try to multitask here, all right, since I could have did this before, but I wanted to make it authentic. If I wanted to change my mind on the fly, because that's what I do. And a lot of y'all might do that the same. You know, you're thinking of something or thinking of a combo, a top 5, and you're like, oh, number 4. Oh, no. This one's better. This quarterback's better, or this wide receiver's better. And then you got to kind of mix it around in your head. That's why I'm always on the fly, and I'm always trying to be optimistic with everything. But at number 8, all right, one of my favorites. So if I say it's one of my favorites, that should already be a clue right there through and through. I watched him front row in Eugene. All right. I'm representing the 503. I'm here in Oregon. All right. So I know things about quarterbacks. All right. Marcus Mariota, Joey Harrington. All right. I've seen a lot of these guys that either panned out, all right, in the NFL or they didn't. But a lot of these guys are local legends out here in the Northwest. Captain comeback Joey Harrington. All right. Didn't work out with the Detroit Lions or the Steelers. But I think if he would have went to a better team, it could have been maybe a little bit longer of a career like Kellen Clemens. Mariota hasn't panned out just yet, but I'm not really giving up on him just yet. If he goes to a team like the Patriots, I think he could have a Ryan Tannehill effect and bounce back with his career. But there's not very many teams I think Mariota could go to and succeed and be a good starter, give you glimpses of that Heisman that we saw in Eugene. All right. He's never going to be a top 10 quarterback, but I do think that he could be on the cusp of a top 15 quarterback in the right situation. So let's see about Marcus Mariota. But I got to go as you see it on the motherfucking screen. This is the guy that's going to showcase so much love. He's going to showcase the arm. All right. He's going to showcase the brain. He's going to showcase the route running. He's going to showcase every little thing that you want to see out of a quarterback wide receiver combo. I'm going with my boy, Justin Herbert, J Herb, and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, the best route runner in the game, not named Stephon Diggs. And Justin Herbert, 31-10, rookie season, threw and broke a lot of records. I think he's going to get better and better and better. I already think he's a top 10 quarterback this season right now. All right. As we get closer and closer, I think there's a lot of potential for him to be a top 5 quarterback sooner than later. I mean, normally, as we know, it goes Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, or Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and whoever is that 5th quarterback. And then it might be Lamar. It might be Kyler Murray. It might be Josh Allen. It might be this guy, Justin Herbert. Love him. Keenan Allen's the man. He just needs to stay healthy, as well as Derwin James. But I like this combo. And with Dak and CD, depending on how great they do together, that's going to determine if they go to the playoffs. Burrow and Chase, no playoffs. But if they play well, they could beat the Steelers in the AFC North and get 3rd place, which would be big for them moving forward. And maybe even keeping a job for their head coach, Mr. Taylor. And then with number 8, with Herbert and Allen for the Chargers, this is one of my dark horse teams. I think that this team is going to the playoffs. I think that they could overachieve to the point where, at best case scenario, this season, if they can keep everyone healthy, they could be a dark horse for the AFC Championship game. I know they can hit a wild card. They're not going to win the division over Kansas City. It's probably going to be Kansas City and the Browns, Kansas City and the Bills. But if it's not that scenario, and you got to think of another team that might be able to shake things up besides maybe the Titans or the Patriots, it's definitely the Chargers to me. Ravens as well. All right. But I really think the Chargers, out of all those others that are below, those are my favorite, kind of going in. I really think that he's going to take a big jump in his game. Jersey is going to be a very good seller. And a lot of people are going to be throwing Herbert bombs to Keenan Allen all year round. Number 8, Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. All right, man. I guess I got to get back to it here. Let's go. And I got so many names on this list. Okay. This one might be a little low for some of y'all. All right. This one might be a little low. because obviously with this particular scenario that I'm going to go over, I got them going to the playoffs this season, okay? I got them going to the playoffs this season, but as I get into the list here, number 8, let me put in the nice number 7, because I need to see this quarterback take a big jump in his game. At the beginning of the season, I had him in fantasy football, had him the whole season. He was good as a passer. Then he started to become an elite runner at a quarterback. And I'm like, okay, but just don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. And what happened? He got hurt, right? And then you got arguably a top 2 wide receiver that he can throw to with a lot of other guys like A.J. Green. He's there now, all right? They got another guy that I really like. Who's his name? You know who it is. We're talking about the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray, as well as who else? As well as DeAndre Hopkins. Now, DeAndre Hopkins, he might, I don't think he's really slid past the top 3. And this normally would be much, much higher on my list. So D-Hop, gives it that backbone. But Kyler, is a top 10 quarterback. But for him to be in the top 5, we need to see some consistency, maybe less running around with the football and staying in the pocket. Maybe that will lead them to the playoff run that I think you're going to get. This should end up being normally a top 4, top 5. No question. Kyler, he's on the brink of being a top 5 already. D-Hop, in most people's eyes, is a number 2, number 3, or number 1 wide receiver in the league. So I just need a little bit more consistency out of Kyler and D-Hop. But it's kind of just how I naturally felt as I was putting the list together. That's where I'm going to put them. Number 7, Kyler Murray, going to take his game to the next level. And DeAndre Hopkins, Mr. I catch everything, doesn't drop anything. And that is big facts. Oh, so many things on this list. Who do I have? Ooh, I remember this one. This is probably one of my favorite combos right now as we're going into number 6. This is a team that is really going to take their game to the next level. I can't wait to watch these two. The thing is they just got a guy, right, named Julio Jones on the roster at number 6, even over Kyler and D-Hop. All right, as you see it scroll down at the bottom for you. All right, at number 6, it's my favorite quarterback that's not a superstar, Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown. I like him more than Julio. He's on the brink of being a top 5 wide receiver with Justin Jefferson already. All right, these guys are going to do big, big things. And like I said, I think Tannehill is a top 10 quarterback. No question. A lot of people will say, really? Yeah, he is. Look at the stats. Go back and look at the last 24 to 27 games. He has top 10 rankings in pretty much everything. A.J. Brown is a stud, almost a touchdown a game, sometimes multi-game touchdowns. A.J. Brown can do everything Julio can do, and maybe a little bit more at this stage of Julio's career. Getting a little bit older, I just love A.J. Brown. I love him over DK Metcalf. He's more a polished, route runner. He has better hands. I mean, as far as these younger wide receivers in the league, he's my favorite. A.J. Brown. I love Justin Jefferson. I know Jamar Chase is going to be all mixed in together, and those are going to be my favorite 3. But I really love the progression of A.J. Brown, not being a first-round pick, having that little chip on your shoulder and showing people you can be a second round, a third rounder, and still make big things. And as well as Tannehill, being a guy from A&M and being a wide receiver and then transitioning to quarterback and going to a bunch of shitty teams and then beating out Mariota, my guy, right? And then being okay with it. Like, I'm really excited that Tannehill has finally got an opportunity. It's the perfect spot, the perfect team. And you got King Henry behind you and Julio on the other side. Ferkser, we're going to be able to see a lot of him, and he's going to be a sleeper tight end in fantasy. That's another show for a whole nother day. But number 6, it shows you how much I really love Tannehill. I'm willing to put Tannehill and A.J. Brown over Herbert, my guy, and Keenan Allen, the best route runner in the game, right? Except for maybe, Devontae Adams. And then 7, Kyler and D-Hop. D-Hop is number 1, 2, 3. Wide receiver should be higher. But with Kyler, I need to see more consistency. Tannehill gives me that consistency, all right? Donate if you can to the Cash App, $ ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat. Today's show, who are the best quarterback wide receiver combos going into the 2021 season? Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com/NWSF, or the GoFundMe. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, a link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, at NW Sports Fanatics. And I will go back and look at all the comments, but while I'm in this editing mode, I have to be able to not look at the comments. I'll get into them and we'll go over the list. But that is the top 6. Let me actually just go to the comments here real quick, and we'll take a little bit of a break and see if anyone else came in here. Let's see here. Matthew Sanchez in the building. Jurassic Ninja in the building. Nola in the building. Stafford and Cooper Kupp, we talked about that. Frank Reich and Wentz back together is scary. Well, you're hoping it's going to be scary, Pierpont, but I'm not really sold on Wentz if they don't have a good tight end group and wide receiver group. You know, we're talking about after T.Y. Hilton. I mean, he's walking on, I don't want to say crippled legs, but I mean, he's getting at the end of his career. Michael Pittman Jr. I mean, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go to Jonathan Taylor, but you can't go to him 30 or 40 times a game. So offense for the Titans is going to be way better. I just kind of wonder when it gets tough, 3rd and long, if they double T.Y., what do? I mean, you can't go to Jonathan Taylor every single time. I mean, you know, they got a lot of Naheem Hines. I mean, they got some players, right? But Wentz, it might take a couple years. You know what I mean? It might be right away because they got Quentin Nelson, top 2, top 3 offensive line in the league, bar none. Very, very good. Defense could be ranked number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 this season. All right. Led by Darius Leonard, stud. All right. They got Kwity Paye from Michigan. My boy DeForest Buckner from, you know, the Oregon Ducks. So we will see. Brute Saint, Allen and Diggs, Mahomes, Hill, Wilson, Metcalf. Ooh, there we go. They might be on there. So we get the other first rounder if Wentz plays over 75% of the snaps. Pierpont in the building. He said, yeah, one of the day ones. Damn right. Brandon Simmons in the building. Randall in the building. Brian 21 in the building. Let's see here. Nola's talking. So obviously it has to be something that I have to see. Randall says, I think Brady will retire before he falls off the cliff. I agree. I don't think actually Brady is going to fall off the cliff. If I have a good supporting cast, and he's like a second coach out there. So whether you love Brady or hate Brady, don't be shocked if he ends up winning one more ring, regardless if it's with my team or another team that he jumps to after Tampa, which I doubt. I think Tampa will be his last team. But I think that as long as Brady's there and it's a decent team, you know, you have a chance to win a ring. I mean, I'm proof of it. Look at the team from last season. You know, I had a lot of the same guys Jameis had. Few big ones, though. Tristan Wirfs, huge. Antoine Winfield Jr., huge in the draft. Devin White's development. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Nola says, you think if Saints had Mahomes, we'd be good for over 10 years? Bro, if you even have to say that question out loud, you don't know football, my guy. I mean, you're such a Drew Brees lover, all right, and you're from the NO. But let's be real. If you had Patrick Mahomes on the Saints roster with what you guys have at running back and offensive line and head coach and defense that you could fill, you would be just as good as the Chiefs with Mahomes, if not better. All right. That's a dumb question. Of course you would be good. If Mahomes is on your team, you're good for the next 10 to 15 years, as long as he doesn't have a significant arm, elbow, knee, PCL, MCL, ACL. I mean, you would be literally the best team in the NFL or top 2. If Mahomes is on your team, I mean, unless it's like the Jets, then you're doing rebuilding. But even with that being said, Mahomes could probably get the Jets with the current roster that they have today. If they're the worst team, or maybe the Texans, Mahomes could probably get you to, with the worst defense, worst coaching, if you're talking about Texans and Jets, I would think that Mahomes could probably get you damn close to 500. You know what I mean? If he doesn't get you to 500, I mean, he should be able to battle that shitty team and make all those crappy players better. He'll be running for his life with the O-lines, right? And the defense and the coaches might be, I mean, we'll see with Saleh. Saleh should be pretty good, but the Texans are a dumpster fire. So that shows you Mahomes could maybe get you over 500, maybe 9-8 with the Texans or Jets, best case scenario, if he just balls out and makes everyone better. Not a lot of quarterbacks you can say that about, going to the worst teams in the NFL and maybe making them 500 or one game over. To think that you could put the best quarterback on the worst team and you would have, a 12-5 record, that would be fucking bananas. But Mahomes is great, and he's the future of the league. I have no problem saying that. I chose him for the thumbnail as well. CeeDee Lamb, Louisiana native. Pierpont, Dak is trash. Come on, man. Dak is not trash. All right, you're an Eagles fan. I get it. But the funny thing is that all the Eagles fans that said Dak is trash, what do you have, bro? You have a Dak 2.0 and Jalen Hurts. So if anything that Dak is doing on the field, you should be rooting it on, because that's what you want Jalen Hurts to do. And realistically, if Jalen Hurts is watching tape, that's who I would be watching tape of. If I'm Jalen Hurts, right, besides watching my own film, I'm looking at the guy that's most similar to me. even though I'm not him, Dak Prescott. So, be careful what you wish for or what you talk shit about, because sometimes you're like, oh, Dak is horrible. Dak is horrible. And then let's wait 8 years from now. Dak Prescott, free agent signed by the Philadelphia Eagles. You never know. It's crazy. I've seen it happen so many times with so many players. We're going to be able to see some great matchups as we go into 2021. So I hate that they got Micah. Used to love him. Now I hate him. Memopolis in the building. What to do? Message from a Golden Eagle. What to do? What up, Ryan in the NWSF? Herbert had more yards than Rodgers, or he's going to have more yards than Rodgers this year. Obviously, we know Herbert is the man. It's going to be on Brady. Brady obviously is the man too, but we will see. Ruiz, LA Rams. What to do? Kevin Nguyen. What to do? Someone's gambling. Someone's making money. What to do? Hurts will get more rushing yards than Dakota. Well, probably because Hurts will be able to stay healthy for the full season and Dak probably won't. So with my list, I took a lot of time and a lot of head scratching. I didn't write it set in stone. So obviously I'm trying to do it on the fly down here at the bottom, which I'm going to get here to in just a second. So that way I can kind of have them on the screen, all this other new shit technology and everything that we got going on here. So I can kind of review the list as I go into the top 5. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy on Cash App, $ORION-NWSF, or Super Chat here in YouTube. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is where every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. All right, so as we go into number 5, and I'll review my list, and it's one of those things, it's very hard to do. A lot of different people that you could put on the list as I'm typing and I'm going and I'm multitasking here at the same time. And I'll display it here in just a second. So let's go over the list. All right. This is going to be very interesting. All right. Number 10. Number 10 is the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. I think they're going to be doing big things as we go into 2021. It's a name to kind of remember. CeeDee Lamb. Everyone is talking about Justin Jefferson. Everyone's talking about Jamar Chase. Got to be starting talking about CeeDee Lamb, especially if the Cowboys make the playoffs. You're going to see this kid do amazing things, very Justin Jefferson, hit the gritty-ish type of things. I can't wait to see his game develop, and I think he's got potential to be on that Amari Cooper level or higher. Number 10, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. Number 9 is from the Cincinnati Bengals. I love Joe Burrow. They should have got Penei Sewell and a guy that's going to break out this season in his rookie year, just like Justin Jefferson did, Jamar Chase. Now, if these two play a full season, don't be surprised if they finish 3rd in the AFC North with the Steelers sitting at the bottom. I said it. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase are going to be special, but it all depends on that offensive line. They could have had Penei Sewell from my Oregon Ducks. We'll see if this was the right pick. Obviously, it's going to put butts in the seats and sell jerseys, but what about the development of Joe Burrow? You got to be able to be on the field to be able to produce. Facts. Number 9, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Number 8, from Eugene, Oregon, my hometown, we're talking about my boy from the Los Angeles Chargers. We're talking about Justin Herbert and my boy Keenan Allen. I think that he's going to take his game to a whole nother level as we're going into 2021. Already won Offensive Rookie of the Year, which was very exciting. Obviously, Justin Jefferson could have been in the running with that as kind of like co-offensive rookie of the year. But Herbert and Allen, as long as Derwin James can stay healthy, they got better coaching. I'm excited to see them make the playoffs this year. Justin Herbert to do big things. Should be over 4,000 yards, maybe close to 5,000. I'm hoping somewhere in the middle, maybe 4,500. And definitely 30 to 45 touchdowns is definitely doable for my boy, Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. Number 7 is a team that needs to take their game to the next level. I'm worried about this quarterback. We're going into year 2, year 3, year 4. What are you going to give me? I already know D-Hop is a top 1, 2, 3 wide receiver in the league. I'm talking about Kyler Murray, D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, the Arizona Cardinals at 7. This duo is special. It just depends if Kyler can stay healthy throughout the full season. Had some issues running a little bit too much. I had him in fantasy football. Kind of fucked me over at the end of the year. I finished with 3rd place, but I think that they're going to take this next step in their game. That might mean that Seattle is out. Maybe the Cardinals are in with the Niners and the Rams. Number 7, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Number 6, my favorite quarterback that's not a superstar quarterback in this league. We're talking about Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown. on the cusp of being a top 5 wide receiver already. Tannehill to me is a top 10 quarterback. I would take him with Tom Brady. If I had to get him over Tom Brady, if Tom went somewhere else, that would have been my next choice. Ryan Tannehill, Tom Brady, Ryan Tannehill. I love him that much. I think he's gone through a lot of adversity, switching positions, wide receiver in college, going to quarterback, and just never giving up. Love his game. Very, very underrated and a very intelligent guy too. Love him. Number 6, Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown. All right. Now we're getting to the cream of the crop. At number 5. At number 5, I could have put these guys at number 1. You know, I could be biased. And, you know, I'm Tampa Bay. I'm the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm Super Bowl champs of, you know, Super Bowl 55. But I'm not biased. But I got to put them where I think that they're going to be. I think that they're going to obviously win the NFC South. I think there's a chance to go very far. A possible NFC championship game. Possible Super Bowl opportunity. But we got to go out there and get it. Is it Tom Brady and AB? No. Is it Tom Brady and Chris Godwin? Could be. In most seasons, especially if he doesn't leave. But we got to go with the best wide receiver in our franchise. We got to go with who? The best quarterback and the best wide receiver in our franchise history. We're going the Tampa Bay Bucks, my team. Number 5, Tom Brady and Mike Evans. Like I said, there's times when Lattimore will shade Evans and, you know, he puts up a stinker and a dud. But overall in the red zone, Mike Evans is money, like Money Manziel. I'm really excited to see these two hit a higher number than they hit last season, if that's even possible. I know that Evans and Brady feed off each other with their competitive, fiery Mamba mentality nature. So I'm very excited to see what they do this season. I'm hoping for the best. We can get to a Super Bowl and see what happens. But before I think that, I just want to win the NFC South, take it game by game, get to the playoffs, and then hopefully if you get to the NFC Championship game and play the Rams, the Niners, the Packers, whoever it may be, that you put up a respectable, good fight. And in this small window, it's all about the Bucks. It's all about me. It's all about the Tom Brady legacy. So, you know what I mean? I've already got to experience 2 Super Bowl opportunities, 2 wins against AFC West teams, Raiders and Chiefs. We'll see if I can add another to the book. Chiefs are going to be hungry as well, but I'm very excited. And the possibilities with just bringing back all 22, it's unprecedented. BA's coming back. Bowles is back. Byron Leftwich is back. Bowles and Leftwich will probably be a head coach somewhere else in the next, probably 2 to 5 years, unless they decide to stay and keep Tampa going, which I hope. But very exciting to see when you have 3 guys coaching your team that all could be head coaches at some point. Probably Bowles would get a head coaching job and get fired. Leftwich, the same thing. But that doesn't take away the fact that they should be in the running, just like Eric Bieniemy on the Chiefs, one of the best play callers in football. He'll get his job, but if I was him, I would stay at OC and just take over Andy Reid's job after he decides to walk away. Play with, be with Mahomes or not be with Mahomes. That's a pretty easy question to answer if it's me. All right. So number 5, Tom Brady and Mike Evans. Number 10, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. Number 9, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Number 8, my favorite, Justin Herbert, J-Herb, and Keenan Allen. Number 7, Kyler and D-Hop, a little low on some people's maybe fan list, but, it's my personal feeling. I like Tannehill and A.J. Brown better. I like Tom Brady and Mike Evans better. And hopefully Kyler can step his game up and we can put him a little bit higher on the list. D-Hop deserves it. Kyler, what about you? All right. At number 4, do I even have it? Do I even know? Oh, of course I do. All right. Let me add it in here. And I got to go in here. So with this team, I'm familiar with them. All right. It's number 4. He goes by a couple different nicknames. Mr. Unlimited. Mr. Unlimited. All right. Dangerous. Right. And then you can kind of cheat because you can put DK and you can put Tyler Lockett because, who is it? Right. It could be either one. The most popular choice. All right. The popular choice is going to be who? It's going to be DK, because obviously he's got the frame, he's a little bit more showboaty. But one thing that people don't know is that Tyler get to the door and lock it. I like him a little bit more because he hasn't dropped, right, a red zone touchdown opportunity from Russ in his career. How many guys could you say that of? If you're talking about hands team and toe drag swag, a guy that doesn't get a lot of the love like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, Tyler get to the door and lock it has always been one of my favorites. DK Metcalf is amazing. He's great. All right. He's got the frame. He can run down, certain wide receivers, corners. He can run down anybody. He can go on a track team. I've seen everything that DK can do. He could be a little bit better at route running, a little bit better in hands. But as far as big game capabilities, you definitely got to put that name first. So you got to go with number 4, Dangerous, Mr. Unlimited, DK Metcalf, with a little sprinkle of Tyler, get to the door and lock it. You can't, really shy away from Dangerous and what he is. You love him, you hate him. He should be maybe a little bit higher on my list, but there's other guys that I like a little bit more at the top. Russ is just like a video game, like period. NFL Blitz, Madden, Joe Montana Sports Talk Football, Tecmo Bowl. I mean, he is the game. I mean, you pretty much look in the dictionary of what you want out of a football player, let alone a short football player. You see Drew Brees, you see Russell Wilson. If you're a 6-foot quarterback or 6'1" and under, 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, you're already at a disadvantage compared to these other guys that normally are 6'4" to 6'6". They can see over the offensive line and make their reads. So if you're a little bit shorter, takes a lot more up here. You got to go through, you know what I mean? You don't have that leverage to look over the top. So it really is one of those things when I feel the Doug Flutie, and I see these shorter quarterbacks. Whenever I see Drew Brees, or if I, think of someone like Dangerous, mad respect, you know what I mean? To be that good, arguably, on Mount Rushmore, Drew Brees at 6 foot, right? And what he did for the Chargers and the Saints and Purdue, all right? And then you think about Dangerous, what he did at NC State in Wisconsin, even though he lost to the Rose Bowl, to my Ducks, go Ducks, baby. All right. But then obviously with Seattle, even though he hasn't gotten any help really with the defense or the offensive line since the Marshawn Lynch era and the Legion of Boom. Seattle, I don't know what to tell you. Schneider, you might got to be out of there. Pete Carroll, you might got to be out of there. Russell Wilson, you might got to be out of there. I mean, it's getting to this point. Some of these guys need to go. And, Russ might be the guy that could stay, but then that means Carroll and Schneider need to go, maybe both. I mean, you need to definitely start focusing on the offensive line because the Niners are getting better. They got Trey Area. We know Trey Lance and Jimmy G. Niners have an easy schedule. They're probably going to make the playoffs. You're fighting them. The Rams just got Matthew fucking Stafford, okay? That's tough. Right. And then on top of that, you got Kyler and D-Hop and AJ Green's trying to come back. So, I mean, if you're Dangerous and you're fucking Seattle, you're like, I'm the shit. I'm Russell Wilson. So I can fucking carry this fucking team on my back. And the Cardinals can have a better overall roster, right? Maybe the Niners can have an overall better roster, right? The Rams can have an overall better roster. But one thing that they don't have is a top 2, top 3 quarterback. And that's me. Dangerous, Mr. Unlimited. So if you have Mr. Unlimited, all right, anything is possible. 9 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins. Even when we think that the defense is garbage like Dallas, offensive line is shit, but somehow, some way, Russ still gets in the end zone. Chris Carson usually plays most of the season and does pretty good. All right, usually top 10 numbers if you play fantasy. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are 2 top 12 wide receivers in the league. And he can make any tight end that has a no name in the league a name. So Dangerous, I would like to put you a little bit higher. You know what I mean? I don't really like your running back core. Penny was a bust. Obviously in the draft, the offensive line is hideous. Defense, Bobby Wagner is great. Jamal Adams is great. But what about the rest of the pieces? It's just a lot of holes there. Offensive line, I mean, you might as well not even have an offensive line. You just might as well have fucking Russ out there, go 6 on 11. Because that's pretty much what it is on every single play. And just for the fact that he's made the playoffs like every single year, maybe besides like 1, like 8 out of the last 9, something crazy like that. I mean, I don't know what's more of a crazier stat. Russell Wilson, 8 out of the first 9 years playoffs, or Tyler Lockett never dropping a red zone touchdown opportunity from Dangerous in his career. Mind-boggling, mind-blowing. Number 4, Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. Okay, so as we go in the list, as you can see it, all right, donate if you can to the Cash App, $ORION-NWSF. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the fucking like button, donate to your boy through the Cash App or through the YouTube Super Chat. All right, and if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. Number 10, Dak and CD Lamb. Number 9, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, the new Justin Jefferson of 2021. Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, they're going to the playoffs at number 8. Number 7, I need more from you, Kyler. I know you signed with FaZe, all right, and you're with all the video gamers now. I've seen all your shit. Let's focus not on the video games, all right, even though being an online gamer and getting paid would be dope, all right? Kyler, D-Hop, all right, D-Hop, 1, 2, 3, wide receiver in the league, even though he's getting older. Kyler, what are you? Number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. All right, but depending on how good you play this season to knock out Russell, you're going to have to probably get to 11 or 12 wins. Do you have it in you? I think you do, but you need to prove it to everyone. Because right now, Justin Herbert's coming, Lamar Jackson's coming, Josh Allen's coming for that number 5 spot, especially Deshaun Watson. We don't even know the status of him. So you got, kind of, maybe he goes out, and then we got to rotate some of these other quarterbacks the way that I'm thinking. All right, number 7, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. Number 6, my favorite quarterback. That's not a superstar. A team that could go to the AFC Championship game, even though their defense has holes. Bud Dupree is there. I think they have some potential. I like them more than the Colts in the AFC South. Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown. They got Julio on the other side. King Henry, offensive line, needs a little bit of work. All right, defense needs a little bit of work. But if you score points and the other team can't fucking stop you, and you end up scoring one more than the other team in the fourth quarter, last time I checked, that's a dub. So definitely, once you get further along and you're playing teams like the Bills and the Browns and the Chiefs, you're not going to get away with doing some hanky-panky bullshit or just some, being cute out there. You really got to pound the rock heavy with Derrick Henry, and you really got to take advantage of one-on-ones and double teams with A.J. Brown and Julio. And I think Ferkser is going to be a top 10 fantasy tight end, just like Jonnu Smith was last season. I think he's going to be kind of a sleeper guy. When all the guys are covered, Tannehill's going to have to throw to fucking somebody. Why not Ferkser? He could be the new Jonnu Smith. I'm excited to see what he can do. Number 6, Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown. And another thing about A.J. Brown, he's my favorite wide receiver that's not on Tampa Bay. Facts. I like him and Justin Jefferson as far as the new young breed. Right now, like the guys I really love, obviously, I love Justin Herbert. That's my quarterback. That's the one I love. Would love to have him in Tampa, but it's not going to happen. But I'm rooting for him. He's the one that could actually give the Oregon Ducks a good name. I'm rooting hard for him. I think he can be a Hall of Famer. I think he's got a lot to show. And like I said, I think an AFC Championship game in the next 5 years wouldn't be that out of the question if they keep building around Justin Herbert. Austin Eckler, Derwin James, Keenan Allen, even though he's getting older. They got some pieces. Justin Herbert, my dude. All right. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown. Those are my favorite 2 wide receivers besides Jamar Chase coming in. And then as we go, Kyle Pitts is going to be phenomenal. And then you got Devin White. I think he's going to be the best defensive player in the league. I mean, he's already shown that he's on that Darius Leonard level, the Fred Warner level, the Bobby Wagner level. I think that maybe this is the year that he shows, hey, I am the best fucking linebacker in the game. And to say that in likes of Bobby Wagner, Fred Warner, and Darius Leonard that are going to have something to say about it, Fred Warner could make the playoffs. Darius Leonard can make the playoffs, right? Bobby Wagner could even make the playoffs. So literally all 4 linebackers could be, in the dance, in the game. But I'm excited to see that development. And then I really like J.C. Horn, Micah Parsons, these defensive guys as we're going into this new season. Can't wait to see what they do. But the season is long. I got to hope that we don't have any injuries. Number 6, Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown. Love his game. Had him in fantasy. Scores a fucking touchdown almost every fucking game. Money. If you're going to get someone, A.J. Brown, fantasy football, grab him. I'm telling you. Number 5, Tampa Bay. I could have put Tom Brady and Chris Godwin. I could have put Tom Brady and Gronk. I could have put Tom Brady and Evans. No, I couldn't put the tight end because it's not a part of this video. But number 5 could be number 1, but I decided not to be biased because I don't think Tom Brady's number 1, but I think he does deserve to be in the top 5 over guys like Tannehill, Kyler, all right, Herbert, Burrow, Dak. Those guys are all great. But, I mean, Tom Brady's legendary. Tom Brady and Mike Evans. I know Chris Godwin hopefully decides to stay after the season, and we can kind of keep the core together. We're just trying to maximize our run. I absolutely love everything that's happened. Obviously, as being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan since 1995, I've gone through a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But it's exciting to see that we actually have a shot to go for 2. When you say Tampa Bay could win another championship, you don't sound like a crackhead or crazy. When you say that they could win the NFC South, people believe you. Because they should. When you say that they can make an NFC championship game against, let's say, the Rams against Stafford, it doesn't sound crazy to most people because people saw what happened last season, right? From December on in the Super Bowl and then retaining all the talent. That's big. And if you have Brady, he's proven it over and over and over again. If you have Brady, you have a shot. I mean, I'm a great example of it. You need discipline. He changed everything, and he's like a second head coach in there. I mean, I think Tom Brady, to me, out of all the players that are playing, I think he's definitely got to be a top 2 intelligence guy. Peyton Manning was another one, right at the very, very top of intelligence in football. But if we're talking about quarterbacks, I don't know if there's anyone that's works harder, puts in the grind, takes care of their body, and goes to bat for the film room and then putting in extra practices. I mean, being able to see Brady and what he does on my team rather than the Patriots and going even deeper and seeing how much he has to prove on this new team and proving to Belichick that it's me, not you. Very exciting to see, and the run might not be over. Number 5,
Tom Brady and Mike Evans. Number 4, a arguably top 2, top 3 quarterback in this league in Dangerous. And they got 2 top 12 wide receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Get to the Door and Lockett. DK is polished. Not yet. Tyler Get to the Door, Lockett. Tyler Get to the Door and Lockett. I mean, he can end up doing the toe drag swag. You know, he hasn't dropped a touchdown pass in the red zone from Russ, which is insane. All right. He can run all the routes. Very underrated. DK, we just need you to be a little bit more reliable, you know, throughout the whole 4 quarters, you know, in the red zone, running your routes. And then I think that there's a chance that DK Metcalf could be a top 5 wide receiver in this league. But at this point, moving forward trajectory, I see Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown being a little bit better. In my opinion, their upside is a little bit better. DK Metcalf is great because we haven't really seen a wide receiver look like that, run like that, catch like that, and he can only get better. But he could be the Calvin Johnson, the T.O., the Randy Moss, that bigger upper body freak, right? But he has to work on his game because right now there's quite a few wide receivers that are better. But if DK was available and Dangerous and Tyler Get to the Door and Lockett, and I had to trade for Brady, Evans, and Godwin, even though I wouldn't want to, I mean, it's not like I would be like, oh, fuck, my season's over. Okay, Tom for Russ. Okay, I got a younger guy. DK for Mike Evans. Okay, you know, similar maybe type of production. Evans probably a little bit higher on the upside, but DK still solid. And Tyler Get to the Door and Lockett and Godwin are kind of similar, you know, based off their numbers and what they can do, and they're very highly underrated. So Russ, DK, Lockett, I mean, they are the real deal Holyfield. I could have put him a little bit higher, but I had him at number 4, and I'm obviously a little bit slower on the comments here, and I'll go into them in a second, just because I wanted to be able to give you guys my top 10. And I know my top 10 isn't going to be like everyone else's, but I want to put you guys on notice that if you're not on notice about Burrow and Chase and how good they're going to be, Herbert and Allen, Dak and CD, Kyler, D-Hop, Tannehill, A.J. Brown, Julio. I mean, you already know about a lot of these, Brady, right? Obviously, and Evans, Russ, DK, and Lockett. But the ones I really want to showcase and tell you, the Dak and the CD, Burrow and the Chase, Herbert and Allen, Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. These are matchups that you're really going to want to watch because Justin Jefferson, if they had a better quarterback, I would have put him at 10 with Kirk Cousins and then obviously Justin Jefferson because I like that duo a little bit more than Dak and CeeDee Lamb because I just don't know if Dak and CeeDee Lamb can stay healthy for the full season. But if they do, Dak and CD are going to put up some fucking crazy numbers, more than Kirk or Justin Jefferson. Jefferson could maybe get more yards and touchdowns than CeeDee Lamb, but Dak's stats should be better than Cousins unless Aaron Rodgers leaves and the Vikings win the division, which is possible. Still love Kirk Cousins. He has a lot of ups and downs, kind of like Carr and Baker. You know, you want to like try to get to a point where you can label Kirk Cousins and Carr and Baker top 10 quarterbacks, but when you say it, it sounds like you just barfed in your mouth, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It's like Kirk Cousins, no hating. You know what I mean? You know, Carr, Baker, even when they play good, you're like, they're top 10 quarterback. You can't really like say it like definitively. You know, maybe they had a couple good games to make them look like a top 10, but they're not top 10. But at times they play like top 10 quarterbacks. We'll see what we get from those guys. Number 4, very, very good. Triple cheated there. Dangerous, DK, and Tyler Get to the Door and Lockett. All right. So now the top 3. So you probably might have figured it out. And maybe you're wondering that I put number 3 over number 4, number 5, number 6. But I think that if you ended up watching last season, it's easy to see why I have this combo at 3. And it's so close that I think that, you know, very soon in the near future that they are going to be number 1, number 2, kind of battling it out with the other one for many, many years to come, just depending on the other quarterback situation. Who is it? At number 3, I have to give them love and I have to give them respect. We're going with the Bills Mafia. You know, your boy is not biased. I love to show love where love is given. Everyone wants to talk about Josh Allen. How about let's talk about fucking Stephon Diggs? That's the reason Josh Allen got better. Not because Josh Allen's arm got any stronger. He could throw it out of a fucking stadium, just like Patrick Mahomes. But his accuracy was always an issue at Wyoming. Then he got to the league, didn't have a true number 1 wide receiver. You're throwing a fucking Cole Beasley every game. Then you bring in a true number 1 who in some people's eyes with him and Adam Thielen, they were kind of, you know, 1A, 1B, maybe not the great, you know, top 10 wide receiver. Like, you know, Keenan Allen don't get no love. Stephon Diggs don't get no love. Tyler Get to the Door and Lockett don't get no love. Cooper Kupp don't get no love. Robert Woods don't get no love. But you know what? Those guys are like top 13, 14 wide receivers with maybe Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods on the outside of the top 10. But with like Keenan Allen and Diggs, It's like when you hear top 10 wide receiver talk, you barely ever hear their names. And if it is, it's someone like me shouting it out. Keenan Allen could be a top 5 wide receiver. Like if you put him at 5, that's not crazy to say. He's a great route runner. You know, he hasn't been to the playoffs, but once, you know, Herbert and him start making it on TV, people are going to be like, okay, finally time to give Keenan Allen his due. I had him at top 10. Yeah, maybe he is number 5, number 6, number 7. It's about time. Same thing with Stephon Diggs. You know, he obviously had Kevin Stefanski. He was the OC, who's obviously, you know, the head coach over there with the Cleveland Browns. All right. So Stefanski's there running the offense. He made Diggs that number 1 deep threat, took his game to a whole nother level, as well as Adam Thielen, you know, for a guy that's, you know, 6th round, 7th round, undrafted, Adam Thielen. You know, look what he became, the perfect Patriot, prototypical player that they're going to go after. Caucasian, white receiver, like a Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. I like him. Let's have him come over to New England. I mean, that's pretty much a done deal. You know, when they see the white Caucasian receivers, New England's like, give me all of them, right? They love those guys, all right? Number 3, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Now, they're definitely, to me, a top 3 team in the AFC. Still, you did not address the running back position. So right now, I got the Chiefs 1, the Browns 2, the Bills 3. Can the Bills make an AFC championship game? Yes. Can the Bills make a Super Bowl? Yes. Those are probably the main 3 teams that I feel the most confident with. And then obviously in the NFC, it's Tampa Bay. All right. The Rams with Stafford, Green Bay with Rodgers. And then we got to see about the rest with, you know, the Niners and how they pan out and all these other teams and what they do. All right. But as far as like Super Bowl chances, NFC, AFC championship game, at least right now, that's kind of what it's looking like. But they don't have a Jonathan Taylor like on the Colts. They don't have a Najee Harris like on the Steelers, right? They don't have the Josh Jacobs from the Raiders, right? You need one. If you're going against the Browns, they got fucking Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Even though Baker's not that great, he doesn't have to be for them to make the AFC championship game. He just has to not turn the fucking football over. That's really what it comes down to. He can be a little bit above and beyond a game manager, and that'll be good enough to get them there, right? Because it's probably going to be the Browns or Bills, and the Browns overall have a better roster than the Bills. They need that star running back to let the pressure off of Diggs, let the pressure off Dawson Knox, let the pressure off a lot of the guys, especially Josh Allen, right? And let it just happen organically and naturally. So until they get their dude, then they can move up to maybe number 1, number 2 over the Chiefs or the Browns, depending on injuries. But for the time being, I got to give a lot of love. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, number 3. I think Diggs has a great shot to get the most yards, could be the most touchdowns, could be the most receptions. Stephon Diggs definitely has to be in that top 3, you know, statistical category because, you know, Josh Allen is going to go to him every single fucking down. It's like when Drew Brees and MT in 2019, it was like every fucking down to get 149 grabs. You're literally going to that motherfucker like every fucking down. So many fucking targets, target. Fantasy football, points, right? So, and depending on if they have an easy schedule at the end of the year and they play a shitty team like maybe the Jets, Stephon Diggs could make you win a championship in fantasy football, and that's facts. So even if you have like a top 10 pick and maybe it's in the 2nd round and you're looking at wide receiver and Keenan Allen's there and Mike Evans is there and there's some big names, take Stephon Diggs because I would. He might be my 1st or 2nd wide receiver taken, depending on, if he's sitting there, because I know the targets that he's going to get. And that's a big part of fantasy football is getting the opportunity to make the play. And I trust Diggs and I trust Josh Allen. Very underrated. They're starting to get better, but we need better running game, better O-line, better defense, better coaching. And the Browns kind of leapfrogged you at this point as long as they don't have injuries. Josh Allen's much better than Baker, but still Josh Allen has room to grow. It's showing you how hard it is to beat Kansas City and some of these elite teams that are in the NFL. Number 10, Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Number 9, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Number 8, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen. Number 7, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Number 6, Ryan Tannehill, my favorite quarterback, not a superstar, and A.J. Brown, my favorite wide receiver in the league, not on my team. Number 5, Tom Brady, Tampa Bay, Super Bowl 37, Super Bowl 55, Tom Brady, Mike Evans. They are the real deal, Holyfield. Number 4, Dangerous, Mr. Unlimited. DK Metcalf and Tyler get to the door and Lockett. Love the underappreciated wide receivers. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Tyler Lockett. I can't say enough about guys like that. Love, love, love. Number 3, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Get a fucking running back, all right? If you want to compete with the fucking Chiefs and the fucking Browns, put me on the fucking team. I will find you a goddamn running back, and it's got to be a good one. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, all right? It's not that hard. Pick a fucking running back and a good one. like a Dalvin Cook-ish kind of. If they got a Dalvin Cook, think about how much better their offense would flow. Josh Allen, Cole Beasley on one side, fucking unguardable Stephon Diggs, and then Dalvin Cook with Josh Allen. They could be right there with the Chiefs or the Browns. They would be leapfrogging the Browns at that point and probably be right there with the Chiefs. You see what I'm saying? Like a running back away for the Bills could be the difference between getting to the Super Bowl over the Chiefs or not, or getting to the Super Bowl and winning or not. So just kind of the way I see things. I know a lot of y'all see it the same way. Number 3, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. All right, so number 2 and number 1 are interchangeable. I mean, if you're going to be doing it based off, last season's stats, it obviously is Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, NFL MVP, best wide receiver, but we don't really know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the Packers. So with that being said, I can't put them in number 1, even though based off stats, it looks like they could be the number 1 team with another duo on another team. So for now, we got to think that Rodgers is going to be there. If he doesn't and ends up going to the Broncos or the Raiders or the Dolphins, then we have a whole nother top 10 list. But for at least right now, at the time being, even though they deserve to be number 1, they deserve it, all right, to be number 1. But I just don't know about Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Discount Double Check. And obviously we know how great Davante Adams is. God, his game has just got better and better and better. And I think both of these guys can succeed on other teams. And the thing is, everyone thought for a long time that, Rodgers made Davante Adams. True, he did. He really did. But then after the first couple years, Davante Adams started watching that Doug Baldwin tape, that little skip at the line of scrimmage so the DB can't get a hand on him, and he's literally fucking unguardable. The most unguardable wide receivers that are in the game right now is Davante Adams, right? Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen. Look at the route running that these motherfuckers go through game in and game out. You name any other wide receiver. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, for his age, he can still run a great route. But I think that those 3, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Davante Adams, I mean, these guys are literally unguardable. And if you got a pretty good QB, a lot of stats to be had. So with the fact that Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams could be number 1 NFL MVP. Davante Adams could get 20 receiving touchdowns. Think about how many guys that are in the league right now. You got Mike Evans, you got A.J. Brown and Julio, you got DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas. I mean, you got all these guys, throughout the CeeDee Lamb and the Jamar Chase and the Justin Jefferson, right? Keenan Allen. I mean, I go on and on and on with Adam Thielen. So many of these stud wide receivers, right? But can you ever imagine a guy actually getting to 20? That's like, an Aaron Donald getting to like 20 sacks. It's almost like unfathomable. You're just like, no fucking way. There's no way. It's hard enough to be a pass rusher, DN, linebacker and get 20. Aaron Donald got 20 sacks, even like 19 and a half, 20. Like, do we understand how like incredible that is? Like to get 10 sacks at D tackle, you are like all pro. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're on the pace for a Hall of Fame and you literally doubled that. Aaron Donald does in one season and what some guys do in 2 or 3 or 4. Unbelievable football player. Like you could argue Aaron Donald and Patrick Mahomes are the 2 best players in football. Obviously Tom Brady and how intelligent he is. I mean, if you're taking him one game, obviously Tom Brady I feel is the smartest. But if we're talking about the 2 best, I mean, it might be tough to argue a couple combos like that. It's crazy. You know what I mean? If you look at all the different options, but Aaron Rodgers, if he stays, could be number 1, but I don't know if he is. But if he goes to the Broncos, he could go to an AFC championship game. I know that sounds kind of shocking, but I mean, all you got to do is like try to get to the Chiefs, right? So don't play them, play the Browns, right? Play the Bills, play the Pats, play the Titans, the Colts, the Ravens, anybody but them, right? And then if you do that and you're Aaron Rodgers and you only had to give up Bradley Chubb, or maybe you didn't, and just some draft picks, and you still got some good wide receiving core. You got Devontae Williams at running back from North Carolina. I mean, you got a good running back core. Offensive line has been slowly improved over the last 3 years. Wide receiving core, not bad. We see what Jerry Jeudy can make a name of himself. And Cortland Sutton should be the number 1. Jerry Jeudy has opportunity to be a number 1, but probably now a 2 or a 3. And there's a few other, KJ Hamler, there's a few others, right? At least he was there, last time I saw him. Hopefully he still is and he's in good shape. All right. And then the defense, a little bit old. Von Miller, older. Bradley Chubb, injury prone. But I like what they're doing. Patrick Surtain, maybe they drafted him as draft capital. Maybe part of the Aaron Rodgers trade. Maybe they thought, okay, we're going to get Aaron Rodgers. We're going to give you Patrick Surtain, and then you pair him up with Jair Alexander. I mean, at least if you get a talent like that, I mean, you're going to get money and draft picks or whatever. But if you're going to lose Aaron Rodgers, on the Packers, you might as well try to collect some amazing talent in return. Bradley Chubb is one thing. I think I'd rather have Patrick Surtain, but both of them in a package with some draft picks would be good. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I know Aaron Rodgers is going to be hungry. He either is going to play or he's going to hold out. And if he holds out, I mean, he could be host of Jeopardy. I mean, he doesn't need money. He's got a new wifey. He's got a new boo. He doesn't need money. He's definitely well off. He already mentioned on Pat McAfee's show that I watch every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon. All right, Sirius Radio, channel 82, or on YouTube, which I watch. I listen to every Monday through Friday. If you guys want to be on my level and know everything that's going on in sports, not only watch Good Morning Football every morning or have it recorded on DVR like I do if I don't listen to the whole thing, always watch Pat McAfee's show. Aaron Rodgers is a live guest on there. It was like every Tuesday. He actually opened up for the very first time to anyone in the media. It was just Pat and AJ Hawk. Obviously, if you remember from the Ohio State University and the Green Bay Packers. So the conversations are always crazy. They got a crazy cast, no filter. And that's what's raw and real. And that's why I try to bring to this channel too. But like I said, if you watch that, you get to see a deeper side of Aaron Rodgers and who he really is. He's not a smug dickhead. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to talk for him. He's probably one of the more intelligent, cool dudes that, you actually get to really see what he's about. Super smart, reads a lot. As all the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, I would probably say Aaron Rodgers and Brady are the two smartest, hands down. And overall smarts, just like the stuff that's happening in the news and just being overall as a smart person, Rodgers might be one of the smartest in the NFL overall. He won, Jeopardy as a guest, as a kind of a special appearance a few years ago, hosted Jeopardy, ratings went through the roof. Alex Trebek was his idol. He would do Jeopardy host and football or just Jeopardy. So, I mean, I think they should do it. I mean, they would open up to a whole new demographic because people that like me that watch the NFL would never maybe watch Jeopardy now. Maybe I watched that in Wheels of Fortune with Vanna White and Pat Sajak spinning the wheel like when I was a kid, right? But as far as either are a Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy guy or you're not, right? But at this point, if Rodgers is there, I'll probably be watching. I'll probably tune in. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, let me see Aaron Rodgers do his thing. I'm always rooting for guys that do new things. Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, unguardable, the best wide receiver in the game, the best quarterback in the game right now. Aaron Rodgers, except for who? Patrick the Clone Mahomes. So obviously I can go based off last year. You can do Rodgers, right? And Davante Adams, you could have them at 1. And then you could do Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek the Freak Hill at 2. But with the question marks of Rodgers, if he's going to be there or Denver or not play at all, just got to put him at 2 for now, over Josh Allen, of course, over Tom Brady, over Russ, over Tannehill, and all the rest. But I got to give him respect. I mean, it's almost like a 1A, 1B. Rodgers, MVP, Davante Adams, best season, obviously besides the Stephon Diggs as far as being a wide receiver last season. I mean, Adams and Rodgers, unstoppable. And they got Aaron Jones, which I love. Very underrated running back, too. That doesn't get a lot of talk for top 5, top 10 running back. And he's a goddamn fucking stud, all right? They just have problems with the organization. That's facts. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. And obviously, lo and behold, we already know who the number 1 is. Number 1. Who could it be? Is it the best quarterback in the game? Is it the fastest wide receiver in the game? Possibly. And I could definitely put Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers number 1, but as we're going into this season, I didn't put Tom Brady and Mike Evans or Godwin number 1. Even in my mind, if I thought they were a number 1 combo, we're not going undefeated. The Chiefs are not going undefeated. Between the Chiefs, the Bills, the Browns, the Bucks, and the Rams, we're probably the best 5 teams in the NFL on paper going in. Best record out of all the top 5 teams in the NFL, if it ends up being those top 5, the Browns, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Bucks, right? With maybe some other teams in there, Green Bay, if Rodgers is there, that's another one, top 6, right? Top record's probably going to be 14 wins, 13 wins. It's not going to be, I would be very shocked if it's going to be undefeated, 1 loss or 2 loss. Even 3 losses sounds like a little light to me, but I could see it. 14-3, that would be my first option. 13-4, that could be like the second best record. But 14-3 is where I see it. I don't see a 15-2 or 16-1. Do I think that Tampa Bay and the Chiefs could do 15-2, 16-1, 17-0, type of games? Of course. You know what I mean? But this is the NFL. It's like you get all like high and mighty, right? And then all of a sudden you play like the Jets and Zach Wilson, and he's got something to prove. And it's like, Tampa Bay's going in there all cocky, and we're going to go in there and beat the shit out of the Jets by 30. And then all of a sudden, Zach Wilson, throws for 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter, and we fumble it on special teams, and then we're down 17-10 at halftime, and maybe they kick a field goal, and I lose 23-20. And you're like, what the fuck happened? There is no way on planet Earth in any scenario, even on Madden, that you lose to the Jets, but it happens. The Jets, the Lions, anytime you take a team for granted, you know what I mean? They just come out there and they give you their A+ game. You know what I mean? They give you everything that they got in their heart and their soul. And then it's not necessarily the more talented team. It's the team that plays the best together. And that's one thing that people need to remember in the NFL. When you end up winning the Super Bowl, or when you make a Super Bowl run in December and going into the playoffs, a lot of times it is not the best team in the NFL that wins the Super Bowl, which sounds contradictory, right? It sounds idiotic. It sounds stupid, but it's not. It's the team that plays the best together, right? Not the most talented team. You could have the most talent, but if you're not playing the best football together, 11 on 11, and really honing in, you can be a team that doesn't have as much talent, but you're playing together, and you can make the upset, or you can make that crazy situation happen. The Giants, their 2 Super Bowls with Eli, perfect example. Philly, Nick Foles. They maybe didn't have the most talent, but as you look at the roster, maybe the talent wasn't as lean more towards New England and Tom Brady. Remember who they had? They picked up the Jay Ajayi. They had the 4 Horsemen. They had the better offensive line. They had Fletcher Cox. I mean, everything. They had better defensive line, better offensive line. That's when Derek Barnett from Tennessee came in, and he was a factor. It's like a lot of these pieces were just mingling at the right time. And like I said, I like to always let people know that. That's why with this channel, it's a lot different than a lot of others that are out there, very biased, and they only think about their team. They can't understand what it's like to be another team or be in their fan base's shoes. And that's why I think I relate to so many of y'all, because I can, look outside of me being a Tampa fan and just being a fan of each individual team, and how would I think, how would I feel, and not being, overly biased and saying things to you guys that you're not going to hear anywhere else, but you're thinking it, but just no one has the balls to say it. And that's what I'm here for. So that's the combos right there. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers, right, who could be number 1 with Devontae Adams. I love that combo. Who knows if Aaron's going to be there or not. I hope I hope, honestly, not to be a hater of Green Bay, but the way that they treat quarterbacks and then what they do there, fuck them. All right. I hope Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver. You know what I mean? Make it more exciting for the fucking AFC. Have Aaron Rodgers something to prove, right? And see if he can end up getting a chip before his career's over, like Peyton Manning did. I want Aaron in Denver. I said it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry for any of the Green Bay Packer fans or, anything that's there. But, I mean, you guys have had goddamn Bart Starr. All right, you got fucking Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if it gets any fucking better than that for Hall of Fame quarterbacks. You guys have had like 3 fucking quarterbacks in the last 40 years. It's not fair. All right. But on the flip side, Bart Starr got you multiple 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 championships. How many did you get with Brett Favre? Only 1, right? Aaron Rodgers, only 1. Both guys should have at least 2. Same thing goes for Danger Russ. We know Patrick Mahomes will be getting more and more and more, but it shows you Drew Brees is another, should have 2 at least. Me being a Bucs fan, I can say that, like Russ's skill set, Drew's skill set. I mean, there's certain guys that have 1. You're like, oh, whoa, these guys are way too good for 1. Drew Brees, only 1. It's just, you feel cheated. I'm a Bucs fan, and I can say that. It's like, oh, wow, Russ, the bad decision to throw it instead of handing it off to Marshawn, but even if they handed it off, he might have not got in. Most of us think that he would have got in, and we would have been more accepting of the fact on goal line if Marshawn got stopped. That was the call, right? But on the flip side, if Pete Carroll makes that play work, he's a genius. Instead of being bum in Super Bowl in New England, Malcolm Brown jumps the route. What if he makes that play? Oh, we thought that Marshawn was getting the ball, and boom, I fucking did that slant. And then his whole demeanor and everything that, Pete Carroll is about goes on to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? As far as coaching, maybe not as high as Belichick, but in that same, breath, you're going to be bringing up Pete Carroll. You're like, okay, 2 Super Bowls, 2 wins, incredible call at the end of the game. They thought it was Marshawn, the guy that should have got the ball, and they fucking threw it with a fucking young Russell Wilson, and they got it. Then you'd be like, oh, Seattle's dynasty, Legion of Boom would have stayed together. So many things. I mean, you're only going to have about a 4 to 5 year run. But just imagine if that play would have went the other way. Pete Carroll would be known as like this fucking great. And Russell Wilson and what he means to the league would be on a whole nother level too. So sometimes it's just one, good play or bad play. But at number 1, it's the dude, Eric Bieniemy, Andy Reid, Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, lots of wide receivers, not Sammy Watkins, because we know he's on the Baltimore Ravens. But we're talking about the best quarterback in the game. And even though Tampa Bay beat him, and, I understand that, but the guy that's going to be the Steph Curry of our league. The guy that's going to be, the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant, the Jordan, the Magic, like the guy, you know what I mean? It's Patrick Mahomes. He's the face of the league. You know what I mean? He's the only quarterback that right now that you can say within the next 10 to 15 years, if you had him, no worries. It's like, oh, I hope he doesn't get hurt, but like you feel good. You're going to go to the playoffs. You're a top 2, top 3 team every year. I mean, who else can you say that about? Aaron Rodgers now for a couple more years, right? Russell Wilson and that team is kind of sliding back. So those are the top 3 quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, who knows if he's in the fucking league with all the rub downs and all the accusations. He was the number 4 quarterback going into last year. Where's he? And then now we got Justin, Herbert and Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Looks like he's ready to take the spot of Deshaun Watson and be maybe number 4 quarterback, but we're not really giving him the crown just yet. We need to see you win, the AFC. We need to see you get to the Super Bowl. We need to see Bills Mafia win the Super Bowl. But I mean, at least to get to the Super Bowl over the Chiefs would be big. Like, the day that we see Josh Allen, once they get a running back and they play the Chiefs AFC championship game and finally get over the hump, right? Or if Lamar finally gets over the hump over the Chiefs, it's going to be big. You know what I mean? Because it's so hard to get past, that team. You can't say that about the Buccaneers and the NFC. My term with Brady's very short, a couple more years, right? Rodgers, if he stays in Green Bay, you could say another 5 years of amazing success, but probably get to an NFC championship game, want to call the game-winning pass on 4th down, but then the coach decides to go for a field goal, and then you fucking hate him, and you hate the fucking GM, and now you don't want to play for him anymore. Kuta Kuntz, LaFleur, talking to you. All right. So Rodgers, that's some stability. Obviously with Russell Wilson, he might be at, you got Matthew Stafford for a couple years, but they still need to improve the defense, and get some more players back in there that they lost. John Johnson III, Troy Hill, Brockers, D coordinator. So there's not a lot of teams besides the Chiefs and maybe the Bills and the Browns based off their age that look like they could have some long-term success. Browns, Bills, we got to see if the Browns can continuously do it year in and year out, but they're kind of built right now based off their draft picks, their head coach, offensive line, duo at running back. We don't even need Landry and fucking Odell to do anything, and you can still win the division. What does that tell you? That if Jarvis and Odell do anything, they can make an AFC championship game because we don't expect anything from them because they're not top 10 wide receivers anymore. Odell wants to be. Jarvis wants to be. They're 2 top 20. But they're not top 10 anymore. But if you get anything from them, that could be the difference between getting past the Bills or maybe not, and for key 3rd downs and Odell being Odell in December, who he's, lit on fire. If Odell can actually make it to December, he's one of the hottest players stat-wise in December for the month overall in his career. It's like the month that I don't know if it's Christmas or just that holiday spirit, but something in Odell comes out and he starts dancing more, feeling a little swaggy. He's got all the drip. And I'm just hoping that he can stay healthy into December so that way we can see the Browns in the AFC championship game. I would be totally down for that. I love seeing bad teams like the Bucs and the Browns, hopefully the Lions one day, end up being good. And I don't give a shit if it's only good for a year or 2. You don't understand what it's like to be bad for 15 years straight or longer, or 8 years straight. Most of y'all are fans of teams that have been good every single year or maybe have one off year and then you're back in the playoffs. To be a fan of a shit NFL team, that shows a lot of love and dedication and passion to buy the jerseys every year, to buy the gloves, to go to the games, to buy the t-shirts, buy the autographed football cards, to, show off the cooler, the flags, do the live streams, you know what I mean? Like, even when your team is going to lose and they suck, but you love the team so much and the players that are on there, you don't give a fuck. Like all those years after Jeff Garcia and then going into the, the Josh Freeman era, fucking A, man. And then, going through all these ups and downs, and then the Jameis, Brian Greasy, God damn it. It was not good. You know what I mean? But you love your guys so much that it doesn't matter. You just want to see your team play. But thankfully, I've, fallen in love with the team and the game as a whole, that I really have the same type of love for not only my team, but obviously, your guys' favorite teams as well. So Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek the Freak Hill. Tyreek, the fastest player in the league. He is the biggest game breaker in the game right now, not named Devontae Adams. If you're thinking about a guy that can get multi-touchdown games, the first guy that comes to my head besides Devontae Adams is Tyreek. He's one of those guys that can get you 1, 2, 3 with little effort, little screen pass. It could be a little 10-yard slant, and then he takes it 80. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that you just never know, like Barry Sanders. As soon as he gets the ball, it's magic. Mahomes is throwing him the perfect throw, sidearm, blindfolded, one-handed, left-handed, 1 finger, 2 fingers, whatever it is, right? Spinning it off his finger, throwing it to Tyreek for a pass. Like, anything can happen with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek. But with Tyreek, I think that we need to show love to him because starting off as a special teams guy, not a lot of people knowing about him in college, seeing him progress from the special teams kick returner, punt returner to having corners, like Jalen Ramsey talk shit when he was in Jacksonville. And now, not only is he the fastest wide receiver in the game, right, but he can actually run routes. He actually has good vert. He actually can go up and get it one-on-one, one-on-two. I've seen him climb the ladder, go up there and get it. And it's pretty surprising for someone small like that, but he's just built like a tall wide receiver, like a Megatron. He's just the short, fast one. He plays like he's 6'4", 6'5", even though he's a tiny guy. And I absolutely love it. So with him, I already know Mahomes and fucking Tyreek. Unless they have a serious injury, it's a done deal. The Chiefs are in the AFC Championship game, and they got to be the favorite team going to the Super Bowl. I mean, at this point, it's got to look like Bucs Chiefs again, even though that doesn't sound really like it's possible because it's hard to be able to, go back to back, let alone the same teams. And let alone to win 2 Super Bowls back to back. It just doesn't happen, and let alone have the Bucs and the Chiefs who played last year playing it again, right? Every fan of every other team, like the Bills are like, fuck no. Browns fans are like, no, Packers fans are like, we need to get past fucking Brady and the NFC, championship game. And you got all these other teams jockeying for position. Stafford and the Rams, they want to do what I did, last year. They want to play at home, have home field advantage, and watch Stafford finally get the ring for their team. I get it. I'm rooting for him, man. I really am. I love Stafford. Watched him at Georgia, underappreciated like Matt Ryan. And if I play Matthew Stafford and the Rams in the NFC Championship game and lose, or if I lose in the Super Bowl, whatever, I won't cry about it. You know what I mean? Like if Stafford beats me and they go to the Super Bowl, I'm rooting for them to go all the way just because I love Sean McVay. I love Stafford. I mean, obviously, if it's against the Chiefs, that would be crazy. Rams, Chiefs, Super Bowl. That would be just as good as Bucs, Chiefs, Super Bowl, in my opinion. But Stafford, to get that uniform and just to get those names recognized, Robert Woods, a household name. Cooper Kupp, household name. Not just Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, but the 2 wide receivers and Cam Akers, household name with Matthew Stafford. I think that would be so cool. But I don't know if we're going to see that. And obviously, I'm expecting to do big, big things as we're going into 2021. All right, so I have like a bajillion comments to catch up to. Let me just go from the almost to the top. Comics in the building, Michael Pierpont in the building, Brian in the building, Anthony Ramirez in the building, Matthew Sanchez in the building, Young Nola in the building, Jurassic Ninja in the building, Brute Saint in the building, Brandon Simmons in the building, Randall Offrecht in the building. Man, a lot of y'all in the building, man. Let me see here. Memopolis in the building. Message from a Golden Eagle in the building. Ruiz, LA Rams. Love Stafford. What to do, my guy? Kevin Nguyen in the building. Truly Greens in the building. I'll start from there. He says, who dat? Saints. He said, we showing up this year. We're going to be unstoppable. No, but I hope you guys do well. Wishing you guys the best, but we will see. Truly Green, Maine, is it when AK-41 be on the Madden cover? Well, fucking A, man. If AK deserves to be on the Madden cover, then it needs to be with Derrick Henry, both of them together. But they're going to be going for quarterbacks, more chances than not. TDR 0484, DK is overrated. Well, if you have DK Metcalf TDR as overrated is what? He's not top 5 wide receiver, but if you put him in the top 12, based off his stats, he can get you 8, 9, 10 touchdowns in the league, right? Or higher, right? With upside of maybe 14 to 15 if him and Russ are just going ballistic and Mr. Unlimited is on fire, right? There's not a lot of guys that you could say that could get that kind of stat line, but 8 to 12, easy for DK. Over 1,000 yards, 1,000, 1,200 yards, easy. So how is that overrated? I mean, I don't know where you see him, but I mean, DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson, obviously is the one making the plays. And if DK had a shittier quarterback, he would struggle. But I don't think Tyler Lockett would struggle as much because I think he's more of a polished wide receiver, better on third down, better toe drag swag, and has not dropped a red zone touchdown pass from Russell Wilson. DK has. All right. Tyler, get to the door and lock it. He might not be that supercar Lamborghini. Maybe he's that Honda Prelude. Maybe he's that, maybe he's that Acura Integra. Maybe it's lowered though, and it's got some rims, it's got some Momos on it, it's got a system. Maybe it's not like the Lambo, right? But you see it, Type S, Type R, little Acura Integra, maybe a little, Toyota Supra, maybe not as high as the Lambo, but I got to give people love, because I really like a lot of these guys and they don't get a lot of love there. But I don't think DK is overrated one bit, TDR. Truly Greens, and I'm going to get closer to the bottom here. So if you guys are in the building, fire away. I'm here. Remember when AK-41 scored TDs on the Bucks? But I remember when AK-41 scored 20 touchdowns on Christmas. This guy is fucking amazing. He's my favorite running back in the league, and yes, I'm a Bucks fan. Number one going to be Mahomes, Hill, and Kelsey. Yeah, I don't have Kelsey on the list. I just have wide receiver as well as quarterback. But if we added the tight end, then yes, it would be Kelsey because I do think he is the best tight end in the league. No hating on George Kittle. No hating on Darren Waller from the Raiders or Mark Andrews or Kyle Pitts coming in. But I just like Travis Kelsey as the best tight end. First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. Truly Greens. Kirk is average at best. I assume you're talking about Kirk Cousins, but sometimes he plays good. You know what I mean? And he got Justin Jefferson the record with 1,400 yards, and you got Adam Thielen, and you got Dalvin Cook. So you got to think, I mean, it's tough with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in that division, but if Aaron wasn't there, the Vikings would be the best team. If it was Jordan Love, right, Jared fucking Goff and the Goffets on the Lions, and then Justin Fields or Andy Dalton on the Bears, who's the best team in the NFC North? Kirk, Cook, Thielen, Jefferson. I mean, the defense was bad for a few years. They started to get it a little bit better, but they could be a sleeper team in the playoffs this season. I think that. I'm not confident like I am with more of like maybe the Niners and the Giants. If they stay healthy, I like those teams a little bit more, but the Vikings are definitely a team. Skull! You need to keep an eye on them. I mean, I'm not as much of a hater on Kirk than some of y'all. Obviously, if you're going to hate on Kirk, that means you're going to hate on, Carr. You're going to hate on Baker because they're all in that. You're going to hate on Jimmy. So if you got a quarterback that's middle of the pack, be careful on who you hate because those quarterbacks might end up being on your team in a trade in the future or be your backup. So those guys that are in the middle, I kind of like them because they have something to prove. Can you get to top 10 status even though no one thinks you can? Can you win a Super Bowl even though people don't think that you can? So, those guys that are kind of in the middle, I don't really like Jimmy G as much, but I like rooting for Carr. I'm not really super big into Baker, but I like him more than Odell and Landry, as far as the wide receivers that are there. But there's certain guys that are middle. Kirk is one of those guys. I mean, small 6 foot, quarterback, a little tiny guy, Michigan State, a Drew Brees 2.0. Kind of like that. He's the underdog. Kirk isn't going to be top 5 ever. You know what I mean? Just to be thrown in to be a top 12 QB in the NFL would be highly respectable for Kirk Cousins. You know what I mean? And to be top 10 or to be mentioned in that same breath, like a Ryan Tannehill is in my book, huge. You know what I mean? Because it shows that, you might not be the best and you maybe struggled on Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night, but you still got some skills. I've seen Kirk play great, but I've also seen him play like shit. But out of all the quarterbacks that are middle of the pack, Kirk Cousins is the best. Name one other quarterback that's middle of the pack that's better than Kirk Cousins. Like Carr, you could argue. Baker, you could argue. But if I'm thinking about like my team, who I would want, it'd be close. I mean, Kirk, Baker, Carr, it's like sometimes Carr looks good, but there's injuries. Kirk, sometimes throws picks. And then, Baker is just fucking Baker with the attitude and the swag. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. So I don't know. I mean, everyone has their own perception of things, but I don't think Kirk is that bad. Truly Greens. DK isn't overrated. He just needs to work on his hands. It will be the next Megatron. I'm not sure if DK will ever be top 5, though. I don't think he will be. I mean, to me, I like AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. To be a bigger wide receiver, he doesn't have the natural ability of Randy Moss or T.O., of the Calvin Megatron Johnson. He's obviously not Jerry Rice. But, for the Megatron comparison or Randy Moss or T.O., you got to be more polished. I mean, you don't really catch the ball enough. You know what I mean? Like Tyler get to the door and Lockett's got better hands on the team than Megatron. Not Megatron, but who? DK Metcalf, the Seattle version of the Megatron. He ain't no Optimus Prime either. You know what I mean? It's like he's decent, but I'm not sure if he's got the work ethic, and the skill set to be able to elevate his game into top 5. If there was anybody that was borderline could be a top 5, he's definitely one of the few names that you could throw out there. But I like more of a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown. If D-Hop moves down and Julio moves down, obviously we got to see if Michael Thomas can work his way back up into the top 5, maybe with Jameis Taysom or the next quarterback. But, Devontae Adams, number 1, DeAndre Hopkins, 2, right? 3. Some people will say Julio, some people won't. But there's a Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans. I mean, there Godwin. There's a lot of different wide receivers that you can kind of throw in. But I love AJ Brown. I love Justin Jefferson, and I love Jamar Chase. And I think Devontae Smith for the Eagles will be really fun to watch. Him and Jalen Hurts are going to be a fantasy football dream come true. Truly Greens, he's on fire here in the chat. He says A-Rod leaving or retiring, no cap. He won't retire. I mean, I know he wants to do Jeopardy. He'll either hold out or demand a trade maybe to Denver, depending on where it goes, because they want to get rid of him next year, right? So if you're already willing to have Jordan Love be the quarterback, not this upcoming year in 2021, but 2022, just get rid of him now. You know what I mean? You're already causing drama as it is. You know what I mean? You're disrespecting the guy, picking Jordan Love. Imagine if you would have drafted Justin Jefferson. You could have went to the Super Bowl. You could have the year before. And then obviously last year, if you would have had Justin Jefferson on that squad going against Tampa Bay, go for it on 4th down. Who's to say that Green Bay isn't the champs? Super Bowl 55. I mean, a lot of people would have been saying the Chiefs would have won, but do we really know that though? I mean, the Packers could have pushed the limits too. I mean, Packers defense was underrated. Rodgers was the MVP. Aaron Jones was unstoppable. Devontae Adams was the best wide receiver, not named Stephon Diggs. So, I mean, who knows? It would have been a defensive battle back and forth with Chiefs and Packers, but I think that's the big reason why that he's pissed. He didn't get a chance to be able to call the plays like Peyton did and Brady did. That's kind of what I'm feeling. 2018, it was Kamara, MT, then Watson, Kamara, MT, Watson. It was a cycle. Yeah, it was. Dylan in the building, Steelers in the building. What to do? Truly Greens, he said the Bills could be like the 2018 Saints, just need a running back. Running back is huge. Or maybe like the Philadelphia Eagles, back a few years ago. Once they got Jay Ajayi, that was the cherry on top. That was the Salt Bay on the steak. I knew as soon as Jay Ajayi got on the team, I'm like, ooh. I was like, this team without Carson Wentz, I still believe. And like I said, a lot of people picked Tom Brady. I didn't. A lot of people came for me for bets, right? It's like when the channel first started and I said the Eagles were going to win. No backing down, no backpedaling. And I said they were going to win big. Name one other person that said that wasn't an Eagles fan back then. Nobody. I said they were going to win by 9 or 10, and they did. How do I know that they were going to win by that? I don't know. But I just got that gut feeling that the 4 horsemen, the 4 running backs, Jay Ajayi, better O-line, better D-line, that if they played the perfect game, they had a shot. I didn't predict Philly, but I had a feeling that they were going to win and win big, and they did. You know what I mean? And like I said, I haven't got a Super Bowl wrong in like 20 years. So obviously, doing that research and film study, and then you can kind of put a theory together. And then depending on how the game plan goes, sometimes you can bet and you can be right, based off all the, patterns and the repetitiveness and the unexpected and knowing turf and, knowing outside temperatures. Like there's so many factors in betting that go, and, your boy puts in a lot of work. Jameson Meza in the building. Okay, just got here. Missed anything too much? Sorry, I got here late. No problem, my guy. Okay, where did Ryan Tannehill and Julio Jones land on the list? I'll go back and do the list as you can see it down below. I got it in the obviously in the ticker down below, which is cool. So I'll be able to put the football scores. If I can't have the actual scoreboard up, I'm always going to be able to update different things. Meza, come on, man. I love Ryan Tannehill, and I like A.J. Brown more than Julio. And I'm a fan of Julio too. But like I said, that's my favorite quarterback and my favorite wide receiver that aren't on Tampa Bay. Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown. That's facts. So yeah, I had that feeling last year for my Titans should have destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals, but then we got upset. So it happens in the National Football League. And that's why I love the NFL, because you can play a shit team and lose. You can be cocky. You can just be like, fuck this. We're winning by 20. And then you just go out there and the other team just punches you right in the math, right? Bang, right? And then all of a sudden you're down 10-0. And then you're like, come on. And the offense is struggling because they're not in a rhythm. Maybe they fumble a couple times and you're just like doing uncharacteristic things. And then the other team starts scoring off your mistakes that you normally don't make. And you're like, fuck. Then you're looking up at the scoreboard and it's 30-7 against the Lions and you're losing. And you're like, what the fuck? But it happens. But that's why we love the NFL, because like I said, as far as betting wise, it's the hardest to bet on, because with college football, you kind of know NBA, MLB, hockey, but NFL, the most unpredictable shit happens in the NFL, and that's why we love it. Sometimes we can predict certain things, but I love me some Ryan Tannehill, my guy. 5-time Pro Bowl, Super Bowl 50 champion, has retired after a 10-year career. LA Chargers in the building. 6 DeSlayer. Love the Chargers. Obviously, I have to put my boy, Justin Herbert. I'm an hour and a half away from Eugene. I'm based out of Oregon. I watched him front row behind the Ducks bench many times, so I know Justin Herbert in and out. I've watched Marcus Mariota in person, LaMichael James, fucking DeAnthony Thomas, dad. I mean, I've seen some amazing Joey Harrington. I've seen the greats at Oregon up close and personal, and it's amazing. And I'll tell you what, the Chargers got a bright future. They have a chance to not only compete for the division, right, which they won't get this season, but they can get a wild card. And don't be surprised if they have a pretty good season this year. I think that them and Miami can make a big jump this season, just like the Giants and the Niners. But the team I like the most is the Chargers. I like them because of Herbert. Eckler's underrated. Keenan Allen's top 5 wide receiver in the game. Even though people want to disrespect him and put him at 6, 7, 8, or 9, he's still awesome, just like Stephon Diggs, but just doesn't get the pub. This year, guess what? Herbert, Allen getting the pub. Eckler is going to get the pub because they're going to win. They're going to the playoffs. More eyes on them. And then you'll be like, okay, God damn, these guys are good. I was hating saying that Burrow was better and Tua was better. All these people were hating, right? Just imagine if Miami picked Herbert. You would have made the playoffs year 1. You'd probably be sitting as an AFC frontrunner competing with the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Browns. If Herbert is on the team right now, you could argue that might be one of the best teams in the entire AFC, period. If Herbert's on the Dolphins roster right now instead of Tua, I would take that team just as far. I would have them be just as good as the Browns, probably better, just as good as the Bills, if not better. And then being able to probably compete with the Chiefs, like nose to nose, head to head. I mean, Miami's got a lot of young talent, and they're going to be very good. They've been hitting on these drafts the last couple of years. Brian Flores from obviously Bill Belichick coaching tree from New England. Don't be surprised once you start seeing the Chargers and the Dolphins in the playoffs every fucking year. And I don't think Tua's the answer. They might need to move on from him and go somewhere else. There's going to be Spencer Rattler will be in the draft. He'll probably be the Texans' #1 pick if it's not Kayvon Thibodeau. But there's Clovis from USC, Sam Howell from North Carolina. There's a few others, that are out there, but we'll have to wait and see. 6th Slayer. Go Chargers, my guy. Go Bolts. Jameis Meza, please stop sleeping. Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. I know everyone loves to sleep on him, man. Don't sleep on Herbert. Don't sleep on him. And like I said, he is the next big superstar in my eyes in the league. Big superstar, like, you got Lamar, you got Kyler, you got Josh Allen, but Herbert's going to be the guy I think that the jerseys are going to sell. Like, he's that guy that's got the swag and the drip, and he's going to make those pressure throws, hands in the face, 60-yard bomb for a touchdown. You're like, holy shit. The best quarterback under pressure last season, Justin Herbert, and he was a rookie. Him and Mahomes, there's nobody better in pressure besides maybe Rodgers and Russell Wilson. But for Herbert to be a rookie and to be that tall and that maneuverable and that accuracy on those deep balls, it's a joy to watch. I watched it in Oregon, but for him to do it year 1, and you got to think, he didn't go under center in his career. We were shotgun set, spread offense, go Ducks. So for him to be able to be more vocal, hands underneath the butt, that's totally new. So for him to win Offensive Rookie of the Year and have to be more vocal, have to do something that he didn't do, right? And then be that fucking good, I think he's going to be top 5 by the time it's the end of the year. All right. I already have him as a top 10 quarterback now, just like Ryan Tannehill. But I think the future of the league is Justin Herbert. I really do. You got Lamar, you got Josh Allen. You could say he's the future too. But I like Herbert's upside more than any of the young quarterbacks, more than Lamar, all right, more than Kyler, and even more than Josh Allen. And that's saying something because those guys are awesome. All right. So I think that he's got a good potential case to get them to an AFC championship game in the next 5 years. That's not crazy to say. All right. A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, those are my dudes. Besides Jamar Chase, that's the future of the wide receiver position, and CeeDee Lamb. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, book it, stamp it, all right? And then who else you got? A.J. Brown and Justin Jefferson. I mean, those guys have talent to be top 5. Those guys could take Julio and DeAndre Hopkins' spot when the time is right. Julio out of the top 5, DeAndre Hopkins out of the top 5, A.J. Brown up, as well as Justin Jefferson, if it's not Jamar Chase. Those are the names that are going to be up there. That's the bottom line. Michael Thomas will be fighting. You're going to be getting Devontae Adams fighting, all these other guys fighting at the top. But if D-Hop and Julio go down, somebody's got to go up and take it. And I know Justin Jefferson's one of them. And I do think A.J. Brown and Jamar Chase definitely have a spot on the other one too. What do y'all think about Demaryius Thomas? Legend, man. Legend of the game. Him and Emmanuel Sanders, fucking Peyton Manning. It's like you remember the guys when they were great, but when they have their fall from grace and they start playing shitty, that's all you remember. Like, that motherfucker was a bum or he got hurt at the end. And, I always like to remember the high notes, but Demaryius at one point was a top 10 wide receiver, and they had Demaryius and Emmanuel Sanders, who were two top, probably 12 wide receivers when they were playing. And then they had Julius Thomas from Portland State, the tight end. Remember him? And he was pretty good with Peyton too. So yeah, I think he's very underrated. Jameis Meza. Stop leaving out the Titans. Add a team that can do damage in the National Football League. I never leave the Titans out, my guy. I'm always showing them love. I was a fan of the NFL that went 8-8 every year because of their defense. Hey, but yeah, Tampa Bay's on a whole nother level. Titans are zigging when the rest of the NFL is zagging. Just like my Buccaneers, you guys are playing goddamn checkers. I'm fucking playing chess, and we're trying to go for 2. 6, Slayer. Chargers are going to win and give the Chiefs trouble this year if they're healthy for sure. Absolutely. People need to stop sleeping on the Chargers. Really. Derwin James was like the only guy when he came in, as a rookie from Florida State at safety, all pro first team. He's the only guy that could match up one-on-one with Travis Kelce, period. Like, he could body him. There's nobody in the league that could do that, like body someone like Travis Kelce or George Kittle. He did. So if he stays healthy, you still got to, figure out with Melvin Ingram and Casey Hayward, but you got Rashawn Slater. You built up Bulaga on the line. You got Eckler, who's a top 12 running back in my eyes, kind of like that sleeper name at like 12 or 13 that you're like, if you had him as your flex in fantasy, you could win. You're like, all right, Austin Eckler is not my RB1 or my RB2, but you have him at the flex over wide receivers or other running backs that aren't as good. That might be some dubs. Eckler is very underrated. And then Keenan Allen, great route running, great hands. It's all about the tight end and the wide receivers that they can complement around Herbert. And in the next couple of years, it'll get better and better on the O-line as well as the wide receiver and tight end position. And then just keep beefing up the defense. Their problem is that shitty coaching. I already told my boy, Joey Gomez, Joe Dog, who's, part of the Northwest Sports Fanatics. He's been a Charger fan since San Diego. He's been a fan since LaDainian Tomlinson. I've followed the team since way back. Stan Humphries, Junior Seau, Marion Butts. All right. I've been following the team for a long, long time. Okay. Stan Humphries, Marion Butts. There's some names there. That's some name drops if you're familiar with those. Shows my age. All right. But with LaDainian Tomlinson and the era that they had and to where they're at now, it's not like they have Sean Merriman anymore. They don't got Junior Seau, rest in peace. There's certain pieces that the Chargers need to get. Love their uniforms. I love that they're going to be going back to the throwback uniforms. That's going to be another video. I'm definitely excited to be able to see the new uniforms as we're going in, to 2022. So it's not going to be next year, but the year after. So that means I'm going to get the creamsicle pirate with a knife in his mouth, the bucko. I'm going to get that with the creamsicle and the white. I'll probably have to try to buy a white jersey, creamsicle numbers, because I already have a creamsicle Doug Williams. But if I can get a white one, creamsicle number, Devin White, whew, that's what I want. But I don't know if that's going to be available or not, but we'll see. As long as Devin White keeps balling out, it's going to be fun. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And like I said, I'm going to have a couple days where I'm going to, take a little vacay, have a couple days to myself. And then I'll be back, probably towards the July 4th weekend. So probably you'll see me back online, probably Friday, Saturday around that time. But in the meantime, I wanted to hop on at least today and do a video this week so that way we could vibe and I can kind of go over some controversial top 10s. But comment below what you guys think. I mean, even if you don't fully agree, a lot of people can kind of see where my mind is going, like as far as how good some of these guys are going to be in 2021, as well as, maybe showcasing a light on guys that maybe you guys are a little low on that I got to spotlight them. I got to shout them out, that they're a little bit better. 6 Slayer. He said, I've been a fan since 94, since I watched football. Looking forward to a competent coach this year. Yeah, I mean, that's the big part of it. And I think you do have one of the better coaches as a young coach in the league. So I think you guys are going to make the playoffs this season. And that's as long as the injuries don't hinder. It's like you guys are cursed sometimes, but not as bad as the Lions, with their curse. Eventually you're going to have to put it together. And even if you have injuries, the one thing that you do have is you have Herbert. So if Herbert keeps progressing, you might be able to be okay without Derwin James. I mean, obviously having him will be taking it to a whole nother level. Having Derwin James could be the difference of maybe overachieving and getting to the AFC Championship game in a year or two, right? This year, next year, or the year after that, or not having Derwin James and getting knocked out in the wild card round. You know what I mean? It could be a big difference, having a guy like that. But obviously with this, I thought it's a pretty good list. I put some time into it, and definitely you can swap a few guys back and forth. But that's kind of how my brain thinks when I think of fantasy and when I look at the league, not as just one-sided Buccaneers and fuck everyone else. Number 10, Dak Prescott and C.D. Lamb, Dallas Cowboys. Number 9, Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, up and coming. Number 8, Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, future. Number 7, Kyler Murray and D-Hop, better step it up. Number 6, Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown, my favorite non-superstar combo. Number 5, Tom Brady and Mike Evans. Number 4, Mr. Unlimited, DK Metcalf and Tyler get to the door and lock it, right? Number 3, who could it be? Who could it be number 3? It's Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Respect. You took your game to the next level. Diggs could lead the league in yards. He could lead the league in receptions. He could lead the league in every statistical category. Yards. Yak yards, touchdowns, I'm excited to see what they do. But with that being said, the Browns and Chiefs are better. But I definitely love the combo. Fun to watch. Diggs torches everyone. Him and Keenan Allen and Devontae Adams at wide receiver, it's just not even fair. It's like you might as well just quit. Corners, you might as well quit. Unless you're Jair Alexander or Jalen Ramsey or, Humphrey or some of these other guys. Unless you're one of the stud secondary players, Minka Fitzpatrick. I mean, if you're not one of the stud top dudes, good luck. Number 3, who could it be? Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. I know that surprises some of y'all. I even have them over Brady. I didn't have Brady at number 1, so obviously if I'm biased, I could have been like Brady 1, Mike Evans 1. Didn't even have him at 2. Didn't even put him at 3. And you know how much I love Tom Brady and Mike Evans and my team, all right? You know how much I love them. So I think that shows you like really how much of a baseline that I have, that I can put him low, but not low enough where I'm disrespecting. You know what I mean? Like he's got to be at least 5 or higher, but to have those 4 names, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett because of Russell Wilson's age, get it. Josh Allen and Diggs, the combo they had last year, understand. All right. Devontae Adams, best statistical wide receiver last year besides Stephon Diggs with the MVP, Aaron Rodgers, I get it. And then Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek the Freak Hill. And that's as we're going into 2021. I know the Chiefs more than likely are going to represent the AFC. The question is, can Tampa Bay represent the NFC? Because as good as the Bills are going to be, as good as, the Browns are going to be, I just don't know if you're going to be able to beat the Chiefs unless you have an injury to Mahomes, Tyrann Mathieu, Kelsey, Tyreek. If you don't have a major injury, I just don't know how you're going to be able to beat them personally. But maybe the Browns can do it. Maybe the Bills can do it. At some point, they're going to do it, but I just don't know if it's going to be, this particular year. I say, enjoy your time off. Appreciate that. Like I said, so I want the Colts and Chargers fan on the channel. That would be lit. Yeah. And it's going to be dope because Preston, Swaggy Pete, big Colts fan. So we can talk, if we like Carson Wentz or not, talk about the best offensive line in football, top 3 with Quentin Nelson, Darius Leonard, best linebacker, going over a Chargers fan finally. And I took him to his first game, to see Justin Herbert front row, on the Arizona State bench, like in the end zone. He ran right in front of us. And I got to see N'Keal Harry and got to see so many pieces. And to be able to watch something like that, and I told him, Herbert's going to go to your team, and he did. So not only being a Duck fan and a Charger fan, but getting your future QB after Phillip Rivers and actually getting a great one, awesome. So you're going to be able to get his intake. I got my boy Zach, who's a Cowboys fan. I even got my girl Kelsey, who's a girl that I went to high school with, big Seahawks fan. We don't have a female on the channel. She goes to the game. She tailgates, paints the face. Good looking girl, very, very hardcore into sports. So I was like, you know what? It'd be kind of dope. I'm not sure if I'll be able to have her come here, but if I can have her come through StreamYard and she can kind of talk with the Fanatic family, not only will it get more females interested, then you get the guys to engage. And like I said, she's pretty smart. Like she does fantasy football. I know she wins at fantasy football and plays with the dudes. So anytime you get a girl that can win fantasy football, just like Zini Panini did in our league last year, out of the only girl out of 10 people, right? 9 dudes, 1 girl, and she won. She had a great draft though. Deshaun Watson, right? DK, Tyreek, Justin Jefferson. Really what won it for was having Deshaun Watson at QB, and he had a great year, but she actually took a chance on Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Taylor, and they hit like every fucking week. I think she had Thielen also. So her team was just amazing. Kicker and defense, might have had some issues throughout the year. Tight end might have had to swap out here and there. But as far as like wide receivers, like 5 amazing wide receivers, had Jonathan Taylor, had to rotate some other running backs. Watson played great, but mad respect. So like I said, Kelsey said that she would hop on. I'll have to go into some details as well. So I'll have a bunch of fans, Seahawk fans, Colts fans, Chargers fans, Cowboys fans, and then some of my other buddies that might, hop on, that live close to me that want to just watch a game with your boy and be a part of the Fanatic family. We're going to have a lot of guests. And then I might even end up having some of you fans that are in the room watching join me in the StreamYard session. So, if you guys have StreamYard and you have a decent internet connection and we're boys, maybe I'll make an invite and, maybe we can end up having another person, that's a fan of the channel, on the stream with me. That'd be kind of dope. I want to be able to try to do that with some of the fans. If you guys have internet connection, that's good enough, a way to vibe with the fans that other YouTubers aren't willing to do. So want the Colts and the Chargers fan on the channel. That would be lit. Jameson says, yeah, have a great time. I will. Just got a couple days, body of water, boat, jumping off, floating beer, and doing a little of that, just trying to recharge, a little bit. And then, like I said, we got the 4th of July weekend, got Monday off. So I should be able to record a couple times as we go from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday in there. Like I said, maybe I'll do some kind of notification. But yeah, I've been online now for about 2 hours. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best fans on planet Earth. Like I said, any comments on my list, if you guys agree or don't agree. The only one that I feel a little bad about is the Kyler and D-Hop. That's the only one that if you want to argue with me with like Tannehill and Brown because you don't like them, or Brady and Evans because you just don't like me or the Bucks, you know, you can go that route. You know what I mean? But like everyone's got kind of an opinion on what they think, you know, and this is kind of the list based off how the quarterbacks are going in. You know, you have Mahomes, right? Rodgers or Wilson, Deshaun Watson, and then at 5, it's either Josh Allen, Lamar, Justin Herbert, Kyler, right? But this is kind of how I feel the list was going. Now, if I was going to redo the list as I see it now, again, you know, obviously Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson could tie right there with Dak and CeeDee Lamb because it could always be Dak and Amari Cooper. But I like Justin Jefferson more than CeeDee Lamb, but I love CeeDee Lamb. Burrow and Chase is good. Herbert and Allen is good. Kyler and D-Hop could be higher, but I like Tannehill and Brown more. And they got Julio there too. So, I mean, I think that the Cards are going to make the playoffs and the Titans. So Brady and Evans at 5, that's just being nice. I could have had them at 4, but Russell Wilson's normally known as a 2-3 quarterback in the league with Rodgers and Mahomes. So you got to put that into effect because in reality to me, Mike Evans or Godwin with Brady, I mean, I could put that up there with like number 1, number 2, because when it's in the clutch and you have to have one guy, and if it's not Patrick Mahomes, who are you going to want? Tom Brady. That's going to be the guy that you're going to want to have the football in his hands on your favorite team. If you're going to try to win a Super Bowl or make a big play on 3rd down, if you could have anyone with their hands on the ball, I would rather have Brady rather than Rodgers or Wilson. No disrespect to Wilson and Rodgers. They both got 1 Super Bowl each. But if I have a guy that's got 7, you know, and he has seen everything, right? I'm going to go with that guy or a Patrick Mahomes, who's the future of this league, the Steph Curry of this league. You know, the LeBron of the league, the KD of the league, you know, the Jordan, the Kobe of the league. You know, it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Rodgers is great, right? But he single-handedly can't get you Super Bowl titles. Mahomes can't either, right? But I think like with Rodgers, he's MVP. He's great. Russell Wilson's MVP. You know, at some point he's like not an MVP. And then all of a sudden, MVP stats. And then he falls off, right? But it's like as great as Russell Wilson is and as great as Aaron Rodgers is, when it comes to the big games, big playoff games, I feel that they struggle. You know what I mean? Like Mahomes struggled in the Super Bowl, but normally Mahomes and Brady, like they're on a whole nother level. Like Rodgers statistically says that he's better than Brady and sometimes maybe even better than Mahomes, right? Russell Wilson statistically sometimes is better than Rodgers or Mahomes. I get it. You know, he can run the play action, the bootleg, he can improvise, great arm, Mr. Unlimited and Mr. Discount, double check. Okay, I get it. But when it really comes down to football, right? We're talking about wins and losses. Who would you rather have? Rodgers and Wilson or Brady and Mahomes? That's a no-brainer. You want Brady and Mahomes. Even with Brady at 43, 44, I'd still would take him over MVP Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson or even Herbert or Kyler or Josh Allen. It's just that experience, you know, having that guy. I mean, I think he already proved, you know, I mean, God, took the Bucks to the fucking Super Bowl and we won. Like, what the hell? Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, did we actually get Tom Brady? Did Gronk actually come? Did AB come? Like, I knew Devin White was going to be awesome. I bought his jersey, you know, $200 sewn. My favorite thing to wear. I'm a big Derek Brooks guy. So I already knew that. But then to get the output of Tristan Wirfs to be the best offensive lineman in the draft to get slept on, chip on the shoulder. Antoine Winfield Jr. When we picked him, at first I was like, fuck, man, we could have got a running back. You know, where's the, you know, the Josh Jacobs, the Jonathan Taylor. I want that. I want the Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, damn it. You know, Najee Harris. And then we kept, you know, going with these other guys and we had Rojo and you got Fournette. It worked, but I want my guy. You know, I want my 3-down back, you know, so maybe Dalvin Cook can come over to Tampa Bay, played at Florida State, would make a great fit. Because if you get Dalvin Cook to come and play with Brady before it's over, that could be another Super Bowl. Believe that, as long as Brady doesn't fall off. But the thing is everyone's rooting and like praying that he's going to fall off. But if you got TB12, you got the best trainers, the best diet, avocado ice cream. You know, he's working out more than any other quarterback. He's reading, watching film, doing private workouts. He's putting in more work than any of these 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds, let alone the guys that are in their 30s that have like 8 Pro Bowls under their belt. I mean, this guy is literally working the hardest, like kind of Kobe, you know, rest in peace, Mamba mentality. You got that Jordan, Kobe, you know, Brady mentality. You might not win it every time, but you got to stop betting against them. You know what I mean? As great as Mahomes is too, you had to look at the offensive line problems. If someone's got a weakness, the other team's going to exploit it. And now with the Chiefs, with what they've done with Orlando Brown, Ravens, what were you doing? Joe Tooney from the Patriots, great move, right? Then you ended up getting Kyle Long, but he got hurt, but hopefully he'll be back, right? And you got Lawrence Duvernay Tardif coming back from being a doctor of COVID. You got Niang, you got Creed in the draft. I mean, you got lots of nice pieces. So now Chiefs got to look like the team of the future. I'm just trying to hang around and, get one more before it's all said and done. Elliot Evans in the building. What to do? Yeah, so I've been on for about 2 hours now. Like I said, look at the list down below. It's something new, obviously, using this platform, but I can highlight your guys's messages, which is dope. And then I can kind of put in a top 10. So I had to put in the top 10 as I was doing it because I didn't want to just, have the whole top 10 list as I'm going from 10, 9, 8. So I had to kind of type it in. So I apologize, but I'd rather have it kind of shown piece by piece instead of just spoiling the whole thing. But I like my list. I think it's good. You know what I mean? Like I said, you could definitely swap Rodgers and Devontae Adams for Mahomes and Tyreek. I think Josh Allen and Diggs has to be there at 3 over Russell Wilson, DK, and Lockett, even though I love them. I'd actually probably put Brady and Evans over Russell Wilson, DK, and Lockett. No disrespect there, but just what I think is going to happen this season, what kind of numbers Evans and Godwin and Brady are going to get with a full season. I think that Seattle might take a step back. Russell maybe with some more picks, maybe go 9-8, 8-9, miss the playoffs, but he's still a top 2, top 3 quarterback. But I like the wide receiver, quarterback combo with those guys a little bit more. Dak and CD should be just phenomenal. Burrow and Chase, Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson should be lit. Herbert is going to take a huge spot in his game with Keenan Allen. Kyler and D-Hop, we hope you take the next jump. And then my favorite, Tannehill and A.J. Brown. I mean, like I said, for a non-superstar combo, there's like the only person I like more than Ryan Tannehill that's not on my team is Justin Herbert. So that kind of shows you what I like in a quarterback. I got Brady. All right. I like Justin Herbert and I like Tannehill. That's like the future right there. Like you can win AFC championship games with a Tannehill or a Herbert. I said it. I feel that you really can. It all depends on the coaching and the supporting cast, but Tannehill and Justin Herbert are going to be good enough, I think, to be able to, get to the game. Maybe not beat the Chiefs or the Browns or the Bills, but to get there, possible, right? And then obviously on the flip side, you got Stafford and Brady. We're going to be the favorites. Rodgers, obviously if he stays in Green Bay. And then the Niners, maybe with Jimmy G and Trey Lance because they got an easy schedule. We don't know about Washington or the Eagles or Dallas or, anything that they got over there. Should be just Tampa, probably the Saints and Panthers fighting for a wild card. NFC West, pretty much everyone in the division, Niners, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, put them all in the playoffs, right? And then North, it's got to be Green Bay. And then we hope that the Vikings and Bears are good. I'm hoping that we get good Kirk Cousins, good Justin Jefferson, but especially Justin Fields. I want good Justin Fields and Allen Robinson. Like if the Bears make the playoffs, I won't be mad. Like I'm rooting for some of these kind of bad teams normally, or middle of the pack mediocre teams. Like I want the Giants to get in, the Niners to get in. If the Bears or Vikings got in, I would be cool with it. So we're going to see. NFC is a lot more wide open, but obviously Tampa, Rams, and Packers, at least on paper, those are the top 3 facts, right? And then Chiefs, Browns, Bills. Not to say that some of these other teams can't do it, which they can. We got a long time before we get, to that point. Nola's in the building, truly. I said, man, you've been live for a minute. Yeah. Well, I'm sweating. It's like, and like I said, we had the heat wave. So remember last time I posted, the reason I haven't posted in the last 3 days is because it's been like 115. Like literally it's been 115 degrees. It was like 108 on Friday, 112 or 13 on Monday. And then fucking, or no, was it Sunday? And then Monday, yesterday, it hit like 115, 116. So it was like 108, 113, 115. I mean, so I don't got AC in this room. So that would have been just unbearable. I mean, you got to be by the AC, but I've never felt heat like that here in Oregon. It was like, they said it was like the 3rd hottest place in the world was in where I live here in Oregon. It was fucking crazy. So just trying to stay cool, you know what I mean? And that's, something I wasn't used to. Definitely went to go dip in the girlfriend's parents' pool, did that for a couple days and relaxed and been working and whatnot. But yeah, man, I mean, if I'm chilling and you guys are wanting to talk and you guys can, donate to the Cash App, $ORION-NWSF, or the YouTube super chat if you appreciate your boy. If you want to comment and talk to me in the chat, your boy's always grinding, man. I'm always grinding, and I'm always going to do a list that's not copied. Like, you're not going to see this list on ESPN. Skip and Shannon, Pat McAfee show, any NFL Network show, Good Morning Football, like all my lists are all original. And I know people come to the channel and steal the material, and then they make their lists or their, stealing my catchphrases, sack lunch, yum, 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 and all that. That's fine. I mean, the biggest form of flattery is stealing my shit, I guess, and using it in your YouTube, channel or your, NFL.com post, sack lunch. I mean, obviously we know where that came from, Madden. All right. But it's all good. It's a big form of flattery, but I'm always grinding. Elliot Evans, man, I hope we make the playoffs. I wouldn't expect it. But like I said, it'll be a battle between you and the Panthers for second place in the NFC South. That's what I would be looking forward to see if you can run everyone in the division, maybe try to see if you could split with Tampa and then win against, the Panthers 2-0 and beat the Falcons 2-0. Because if you do that and you go, 4-2 or 5-1, it's a good shot. There's a good shot to be able to get in there, depending on what the rest of your schedule looks like. Now you see what we live in Southeast Louisiana, bro. Man, no thanks, dude. The weather was not fun. Man, Tyshawn Mullins in the building. But yeah, I've never felt heat like that in my life, man. So much, water and Gatorade and, throws a couple beers back. But it's just, and then I had to work in the warehouse, right? So on Monday at the warehouse, no AC. It was like 130. And I'm like doing shipping in this warehouse, little tiny fan, not even a box fan, little fan at the desk. Man, just sweating, shirt stuck to your chest. Like, I don't know, that might've been one of the worst work days, 8-9 hours in a warehouse, 130, 135 degrees, just sweating, you know what I mean? But I need the money, your boy's always grinding. So any donations on Cash App or on the YouTube chat, greatly appreciated. But, your boy's always going to be doing two jobs until I get to a point where I can get enough donations where, maybe I can actually just do this full time and make enough, to pay rent and, invest more into the channel and whatnot. But until then, I'm still grinding. I got to grind as much as possible. And you guys are the best fans on planet Earth. I wouldn't be where I'm at today without you guys. I love you guys like unconditionally, like truly, for me to be able to vibe with you guys and be fans just like me. Maybe my fandom is just like on a fucking crackhead level, which I know it is, just loving all 32 teams like they're my own, right? But I know that sometimes I can get you guys to watch games and be more interested in games maybe other than your own team. And that's fun. Like, when you get to a Monday night matchup and it's fucking Chargers, Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs. Like, if you can't get excited for that, for the future of the league, I mean, you got to reevaluate. You can be a fan of another team, but just that matchup and how thrilling and what kind of plays we might see. That's what it's all about, that genuine passion and energy and love that I have for the game. I mean, the NFL's got to interview me at some point, as far as like number one NFL head out there on YouTube or just like, what I mean? Like giving me tickets to like Super Bowl so I can give them away to one of the fans on the channel. Just like, you guys are the best fans on planet Earth. I'm going to keep grinding it out. And like I said, I'm trying to always come up with original content. And like I said, if you look at the list, you may not agree. You can always comment below what you think. I was going to do top 5, but I thought, what? That's too easy. And obviously Deshaun Watson, we don't know what's going on with him. But I wanted to throw some names in there that you probably didn't think I was going to put on the list. Dak and CD, you probably didn't think that was going to be on there. Burrow and Chase, maybe. Herbert and Allen, maybe. Kyler and D-Hop, you probably thought I would put on there, but higher. Tannehill and Brown's a lot higher than you guys ever thought. Brady and Evans is a lot lower than you thought that I would put them. Right? Russ and DK, maybe a spot or two lower, but then you got Allen and Diggs. And when you make the argument over Russ and DK and Lockett, it makes sense. Rodgers and Adams or Mahomes and Tyreek interchangeable, and that's what I do. I try to give you guys a different perspective and not being biased, but I like the list. There's a couple pieces you could have moved and flip-flopped, but as I look at it, you know what I mean? I put in some time with it. And I think maybe the biggest one to most people will be the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs at 3, showing that they are on notice. They need to be able to go to AFC Championship game and Super Bowl, and they need to get over the hump over the Chiefs. But unless you get a running back, a.k.a. Josh Jacobs, Raiders, right? Jonathan Taylor, Colts. Najee Harris, Steelers. You're not going to do it. The Browns will even be better than you. So the Bills need to wake up. I can help you, Bills Mafia. Get me in the building. Get a running back. Beef up the offensive line. You can match up with the Browns, and you could probably even match up, right, with the Kansas City Chiefs if you had like a Dalvin Cook back there, or if you had a good running back. I mean, imagine Dalvin Cook on Tampa or Dalvin Cook, on the Bills. That could be a Super Bowl winning team. Dalvin Cook, that type of talent. Or even an Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones. Man, imagine Aaron Jones on the Bills. Aaron Jones on the Bills could be magical. You know what I mean? Like, people don't get it. Like, sometimes you just need that 3-down horse back. You know what I mean? Until the Bills get that, they're never going to win a Super Bowl. And I'm rooting for them. I want Bills Mafia to go crazy. I can't wait to see them win a Super Bowl. Browns winning a Super Bowl would be epic, but you're going against the Chiefs and Mahomes, so that might be far and few between. Tampa, our run is probably for the next couple years, probably from now until the next probably 3 years. As long as Brady's still there, we got a shot, and then we're going to have to rebuild unless we go with Kyle Trask from Florida or we bring in another quarterback. And then everyone else is kind of up for grabs. I like the Chargers' future, the Dolphins' future. Niners seem like they're progressing in the right area, and they could win the NFC West this season, even over the Rams. I said it here first. The Niners could win the NFC West, even with Stafford being on the Rams and Kyler and Mr. Unlimited. It's possible. And it's not going to be with Jimmy G. It'll be with Trey Lance, but not right away, probably around week 4, week 5, unless they really want to do that before. So, Randall, I do. That was a Liddy night. We need to get back there. That's why I need the fans' help, and then hopefully YouTube will promote the channel and recommend my videos and my live streams and my original content and my reaction videos. Because the more that they recommend, then the more fans we can get. And I'm hoping to break over 10,000 in a live stream. More than a few times, this year. If we can, I think we did it 2 times last season, over 10,000. So my goal this season is maybe 4 times over 10,000. So I know, with the Saints and some of the other games we can get there. Maybe Brady, obviously going with, being my dog against Belichick week 4, that could be one. So I just need to be able to keep working hard. 3.4 million views, over 1,100 live streams and reaction videos and original content on the library to check out. And like I said, I'm not satisfied. 19-7 and some change after the football season. Sometimes people leave and then they come back, and sometimes people leave forever, but that's totally okay. I will be able to get back those subs, and then hopefully we can get to that 21 to 25K, somewhere in that sub range, I'm hoping, by the time the football season ends. But regardless how long it takes, I'm going to keep grinding. 20, 25, 30, 45, 50, 100 is the goal. Silver button, get some recognition from YouTube, and to go from 3.4 million views to 5 million to 10 million, and 1,100, videos in the library to 3,000. I'm just going to keep going and going and going. And the main thing is about a good original content, because I think a lot of times you'll get people that, they have great editing, a great thumbnail, all right, great green screen, but their content is shit, right? So you got to have good content. And I don't think anyone personally has better content than me, NFL wise, on YouTube altogether. There's other channels that have better thumbnails. There's other channels that have green screen that's amazing, right? Different, effects and whatnot. But as far as content, I don't think you're going to find better content on YouTube ever than me. Not to be cocky, but just with all the time and work and effort that I put in, I just don't think you're going to get the content anywhere else better. And that's what's going to end up getting the door open for me to work somewhere else for maybe a Pat McAfee show, NFL Network, or whoever it may be at that point. I got the voice too. 100 degrees and humidity around 55% in July in Omaha, Nebraska area. Taysom is better at tight end. Oh, man, I don't know where you put Taysom. Anywhere. Wide receiver, tight end, punt returner, kick returner, quarterback. But at some point, he'll replace Jameis. That's facts. Randall, call me crazy, but I have the Browns coming out of the AFC this season. Yeah, I'm going to call you crazy because obviously I like them as the number 2 team. But if Patrick Mahomes is there and Kelsey's there and Tyreek's there, you're not beating them in a game. You might be able to get it to the 4th quarter, but the Browns defense has gotten much better, right? And if we get anything from Odell and Landry, but you got to do it for a couple years before you can get the ranking of being the top dog in the NFL, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. Every single year, they're going to be like the Patriots, the favored team, every fucking year. Who's winning the Super Bowl? First team, Patriots, Tom Brady, and Belichick. Who's winning the Super Bowl the next year? Tom Brady. That's the team that you're just like, that's the one that's there, right? Now it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Who's the first name that comes up normally? Chiefs. They're if not the number 1, they're number 2. And if anyone's calling them number 2, it's because Tampa won it and we're returning everyone. And that's the only reason that they have me ahead of maybe some of the Chiefs fans. Facts. But I do think that they are going to be good, but I don't have them coming out of the AFC. Maybe AFC championship game. Brady's given out hints that this year will be his last year. I doubt it, man. Like I said, because if you win the Super Bowl, as long as his wife, Giselle, probably wants family time, and he can go out on top. But if you win back-to-back and you play the Rams in the NFC championship game, play the Chiefs again, which I would want to play, right, and we win, who's to say that we can't go for 3? Because no one thinks we're going to win this year. So if we end up doing the unbeatable, the unthinkable, you play Belichick first time ever in week 4, the biggest, game of all games. And then if we end up winning the Super Bowl again, why wouldn't he try to come back and win another one and do something like he did, back then, except he never got to three-peat. 3 and 4 years, 2001, 2003, 2004, but he's never three-peated. At the end of his career, think about that legacy. 7 for 10. How about 8 for 11? 9 for 12. If he wins, think about that. 9 Super Bowls out of 12. That would look pretty damn good. I know he wants to beat Belichick because Belichick's got one with, Bill Parcells and the Giants as a defensive coordinator, and then the ones that he has with the Patriots. So he's got rings. So obviously to be the best, regardless if Belichick is known as the cheater, Deflategate, Spygate, all that shit, Brady's involved in some form of it, right? But I think we give more blame to Belichick. He's kind of more the mastermind, behind it. But I don't think that he's retiring next year. He said, I'm going to share your vids to my friends, Orion. Thank you, man. Truly Greens. Anyone that you guys can share and help me out, I'd really appreciate it. Did YouTube recognize that you had 10K watching live? I'm not sure if they did. What would they do? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, like I said, the video itself ended up getting, I think there was the Bengals and the Browns and Joe Burrow's first one, and then the Saints one. So maybe 10,000 people that watched it, but maybe not 10,000 people all at the same time. You know what I mean? Because like I said, sometimes, with them, it's like people don't get my notifications, but I'm okay. I mean, I don't care if I get 50 views on a video or 50,000. I mean, I'm still going to bring it. I'm going to bring the energy. I'm going to vibe with everyone. I just, I don't really, mind, but obviously I feel that, me making the additions with the green screen and, hopefully the thumbnails, and I can keep working on that and having more guests on the show and more people part of the Fanatic family, that, we can get a little bit of a spurt, a little bit of a growth spurt. But like I said, if you guys as fans know anyone, you guys can help. I mean, all it takes is one person, to get one person, and then that'll help me get back to that 20,000 subscriber mark. And I imagine you have at least one friend that likes NFL that you might be able to get to sub to the channel. So, and once I hit 20K again, I'll do another jersey giveaway. And that's big facts. Never quit grinding, man. And I know I'm an inspiration to a lot of y'all, you know what I mean? Working a full-time job, 8-9 hours in a warehouse, 130 degrees, coming home and recording for 30 minutes to 2 hours, 3 hours, doing the games, doing the live streams, doing the reaction videos, doing it, for donations or no donations. You never see me act differently. It's always high energy. You're going to get good content, regardless if I have $500 in donations or $0 in donations, but you guys are the best fans on planet Earth. And I appreciate you guys very much. Yeah. Those nights it was over 10K. There was only really 2 that I can remember, the Saints and the Bucks. I think when you guys beat me 38-3, right? And you guys just love that shit, just rubbing that shit into my face, right? You guys love that. And I didn't quit the stream. All right, at least give me some respect. I could have just not started calling the good plays for the Saints, and my voice could have changed and my tone of voice could have been more negative, but it wasn't. That shows you how much of a fan of I am of all the teams in the league. Kept it professional. Obviously it was disappointing to get your ass kicked 38-3, but I knew if we played in the playoffs, there'd be a third time's a charm. So, and it ended up being the third time's a charm. And then the other one was the Joe Burrow debut against Baker. Joe Burrow's, debut. And then that one hit over 10, and that was awesome. So, man, Truly Greens. Oh, hell no, 9-12. That would be a nightmare. Hey, got to keep grinding. Got to get to that 20K though. I'm excited for this upcoming season. Like I said, I'm going to be off for a couple days. So that's why I wanted to hop on. Any type of, suggestion for videos that you guys have, put them in, man. If you get the fucking notifications, hit the fucking bell. If your bell isn't hit the fucking change it. Go in there, subscribe, unsubscribe, hit the bell, do what you need to do. Because I just know a lot of people, it seems like they hit me up after on like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and they're like, dude, I didn't get the notification. So I don't know. I don't know if it's some kind of conspiracy or not, but your boy's always going to be working hard. And the main goal is to get over this 20K hump and get well over it. Even if people want to, leave after the football season, I want to be so far over 20 that it's not going to put me under 20 again. And obviously keep putting out great content and just, chatting with you guys, picking my brain apart, and going over football. And like I said, we're going to have my boy Swaggy P, Colts fan, on the mic this season. My boy Joey Gomez, Chargers fan, since way back in the day. He'll be on the mic this season. My boy Zach, Cowboys fan, on the mic this season. Maybe Kelsey on the mic. So we're going to have a lot of people. We'll have females. We'll have fans of different teams. It's going to be the best year, going into year 5 for me, year 9 overall in the dream. Can you believe that? 9 years. 9 years. People think, you can just make dreams happen and make shit happen. You got to put in a lot of work. That's 1,100 videos, not counting before 2017. You know what I mean? So I started in 2013 on different platforms, 2013, 14, 15, 16, and then finally came to YouTube in 2017. And then to be, right at 20K, pretty close. I'm still hungry, definitely not satisfied. I mean, I honestly think that we should be if they would have recommended the channel, right, normally, like they did the first couple seasons, we should be sitting at probably somewhere between 30 and 50 at this point, maybe 30 and 40K personally. But if I have to work extra hard for, the subs, it don't matter, man. I'm going to keep doing it. And if you have one person genuinely supporting you, you're blessed. You know what I mean? And I know I got a lot. I mean, it doesn't matter, if all 20,000 people are watching at once, which is probably not going to happen because they all subbed at different times in different years. But if I can keep grinding out and making new friends and we can grow this Fanatic family, that's what it's about. Having the passion and the love and learning something new and vibing with people that love the same shit as you and me. Football, NFL, college football, wrestling, AEW, WWE, shit like that. Not so much on NBA and MLB at times, but normally NFL, college football, wrestling. I mean, that's my life, bottom line. So 2 hours and 19 minutes in, you guys can obviously see that. Donate to the Cash App, $ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat that you have access to. And then who are the best quarterback wide receiver combos? If I would have put Travis Kelce, they still would be at the number one position. And like I said, just picking my brain a little bit to show how much love I have for some of the undercard guys. And I wanted to put Stafford, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp right there with Dak and CeeDee Lamb, as well as Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen's great too. You know what I mean? But you can only have so many spots, but I like to look at the league very deeply. And obviously I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. I think it's time for me to start doing laundry and call it a night. But I appreciate every single person hanging out with your boy, anyone that commented, asked questions, donated. You guys are the best fans on planet Earth. I'm going to be off for a couple days and then look for me probably on Friday, Saturday, Sunday to be back. Turn your notifications on, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. The grind to 20K is real. Love you guys and I appreciate you guys. Chiefs 2020 champs in the building. Appreciate the videos, man. Keep striving. Hey, as long as I can keep inspiring and I can, be a mentor, be someone that you guys look up to, I'm going to put in everything that I got, 150% on every video, on everything I do for the rest of my life. Fanatic family, you guys are the best on planet Earth. Have a good rest of your night. And I'll be back very, very soon. Peace. Gang.